It's time. Finally, a show for you. A once-a-week extravaganza, giving you the weekend's movies, the week's cons and entertainment events, what is worth watching on television for the week, the weekly comic book, novel, game, and collectible releases, as well as entertainment news and information. Everything you want, everything you need in pop culture. It's Pop Culture Kaboom with your host, Jimmy Jones.
Hello, everyone. This is the Pop Culture Kaboom radio show. Spencer Stoner couldn't make it today. He's on assignment. He's trying to secure us an exclusive interview in the Himalayas with Yeti. No, I'm just kidding. He's out sick. But Rob Nault and I, Jimmy Jones, your not-so-humble host, are here to give you everything you want, everything you need in pop culture entertainment, whether you consider Sunday the end of your week or the beginning of it. Go into Monday, the best-informed person you know, as we provide you with the latest news, information, and releases from television, comic books, movies, novels, cons and events, toys and collectibles, and games. The Pop Culture Kaboom radio show is also your place on the radio dial for you to talk about your favorite fandoms. This week, Tony Sanfilippo of Filippo's Horrible Reviews will be joining us to go over the movies set to be released this coming week. And we have some great guests for you this evening. We will be welcoming back to the Pop Culture Kaboom radio show the owners and creators of Midnight Comics, Lloyd and Natosha Jones. They have been doing incredible work on their ongoing series, and the rapidly funded Kickstarters prove it. And now they have launched a new Kickstarter for a double feature release, The Gray #1, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Admani #1, ADMANI.
Adamani?
There's no A in there. It's just ADM.
Oh, Admani.
Admani.
Yeah, Admani.
Anyway, Lloyd and Natosha will be here to correct me on that, as well as I give you all the information you will need for the various tiers, and you don't want to be left behind on this groundbreaking double feature Kickstarter release from Midnight Comics. And get ready to rock out this evening as we have the leader of shock rock band Armagelion, the Lord Armagelion, the Divine Beast himself, to talk all things Armagelion, and we will debut tonight during the show their latest single, Sweet Pain, just for you. All of this and your comments and thoughts on the 7 pillars of pop culture entertainment, your favorite fandoms, and everything discussed on the show. To add your voice, call 775-515-4141 anytime during the Pop Culture Kaboom radio show, or you can send me a DM through the Pop Culture Kaboom radio page. Through the Pop Culture Kaboom Facebook page. It's not the radio page. It's actual just the Pop Culture Kaboom Facebook page. So that's everything that's going on. And so how have you been, Rob?
I've been great. How about yourself?
For some reason, I don't hear you.
You don't hear me?
Oh, now I do. Okay.
I'm sorry.
It sounded. I just heard you a room noise, and I'm like, wait, I thought maybe the wrong mic was on or something.
Well, I said I was great. How about you?
I am fine. Thank you, Rob. So we got quite a show we're going to be getting into. So let's start off with these emails, since we didn't get to them last week, because I just had been really busy. Got some behind-the-scenes stuff going on that hopefully I will be able to reveal very, very soon, which is very exciting and very fun, and will hopefully be very agitatious, whatever. I can't pronounce words.
I don't even know what you're trying to say right there.
Me neither.
Advantageous?
That's it.
Okay.
See, you did know. You just wanted to make me feel dumb.
I just wasn't sure.
So you are always welcome to send us an email, too, with your questions or comments about anything discussed on the show, your favorite fandoms, or with the 7 pillars of pop culture entertainment. You can email us at popculturekaboom@gmail.com. Please put in the subject line. Very important. Please put in the subject line. Question, comment, concern, or my fandom. In the body of the email, please add your name and or city, state that you live in. Actually, not an and or, just a and, just city and state. Or if you're outside of the United States, feel free to put the country if you live in. Then fire away with what's on your mind. I respond to each and every email, or if they are for Spencer or Rob, I will forward the email to them to respond back to. Bear in mind, it will be read on the air unless you specify for it not to be, and you can follow simple instructions. So with that being said, here are some of the emails that we got. Not all of them, because people can't follow directions.
Somebody didn't follow directions.
Yeah. It's like I get an email. It's like, you got to put your name in there. I'm not going to read emails over the air for a variety of reasons. Well, I don't want to do anonymous either, because then it sounds like we're making them up.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah.
So, first up, Rhonda from Carson City, Nevada. How come you never talk about how Batman the Animated Series was the greatest cartoon ever? Okay. Interesting response. I don't think it was the greatest cartoon ever, for starters. Secondly, I was never a fan of the animation style. Yes, I'm saying that. I was not a fan of the animation style. It was too blocky, I guess is the right term for it. Mm-hmm. So, Batman.
I think it was like a kind of like a precursor to them trying out like an anime style.
It could have been, but all I can ever really remember of it is that Batman had this weird reverse triangle form to him, where he's like really big at the shoulders and really narrow when it gets down to his feet. So that always kind of threw me off. And so, I mean, the voice acting and the plot and the script writing was great. It's just the animation. It's kind of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles last week. As to animation, I just could not get into. Eric in Whittier, California says Spider-Man of the 80s was the best cartoon ever. No, that wasn't either. Unless you're talking about Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. That one was
good.
That one was good. Do you have
Transformers?
You like Transformers? See, I could never understand Transformers and G.I. Joe. Those two just always baffled me that they had worse aim than stormtroopers. I mean, quite honestly.
But my all-time favorite, which transcends decades, is Scooby-Doo.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were like an original Scooby-Doo fan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
I have a ceramic Mystery Machine cookie jar.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, he thinks that is the one, the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Because I remember a Spider-Man cartoon that came out, and every time anything happened, you could tell they just repeated the scenes instead of drawing more animation.
No, Spider-Man and Amazing Friends, it had that weird, segue music when it would do, you'd go, yeah.
Kind of like the Super Friends.
Yeah.
Super Friends
was good too.
Yeah, that was good. Friends, yeah. I always liked the announcer in there.
Justice, yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice, that garbage.
Ones that I would always just love to wait to appear would be the All-Star races.
I think I remember those.
Where they would have all the characters in their cars. Iconic.
It was a Hanna-Barbera one, right? Okay,
yeah, but they would only come out every so often, and it'd be like Penelope and
that one guy would. Yeah, that's it. With Smedley.
Yep, Smedley, yeah.
See, I always liked Smedley. I don't know why. Something about
he's great,
a weird dog in a trench coat.
He was like a perfect dog, because he was an evil dog, but he was like, all right, master, whatever,
loyal.
Screw you
he
too.
Was loyal.
but he would always go sorry, you're bad now.
And that laugh, man, I can't even imitate that laugh.
Oh my gosh,
only like somebody with stage 4 emphysema can imitate that laugh. Quite honestly. So, but
sorry, but speaking of dogs, I've been watching that show based on a true story on Peacock. About a podcast about a serial killer. It's hilarious.
What does that have to do with dogs?
Because there's this scene where this dog, they give away their dog for some reason, and I'm not going to go into it, but he's playing with the dog, and he's trying to prove that the dog loves him more than the people they gave the dog to. And the dog has this whole scene. It's played perfectly, where the dog runs after the other guy and pushes him into a fire pit. The guy lights on fire.
Whoa.
Yeah, and the dog's just has this smirk on his face, yeah, buddy.
Wow.
Yeah, and then it comes back, and it's the dog's imagination. It was just that is the greatest dog ever. That this dog just totally imagined. Oh yeah, buddy, you know what I can do to you.
Dang.
But I'm not going to.
You watched some really sadistic stuff.
It was great. I liked it.
All right, guys. Who was your favorite 70s cartoon? And then he asked if you remember Hung Hung Fooey. Hung Hung Fooey. Yes. Your number one super guy.
Yep.
That was voiced by Scatman, actually. Mm-hmm. So I remember Hung Hung Fooey. I don't know. I was a latchkey kid, so 70s. I watched everything that was cartoon-wise.
Josie and the Pussycats.
Never watched that. I watched the Herculoids, which was a spin-off of Space Ghost.
Yep.
The original Space Ghost, not that Space Ghost Coast to Coast weird one.
With the weird blonde people.
Well, and they
had that Triceratops.
The Herculoids, that shot rocks. It was really weird. And a big stone gorilla.
Yep.
Who else? Oh, yeah, Grape Ape was always a fun one to watch.
Oh, yeah.
With Biggly Biggly, yeah. who else? Johnny Quest. Johnny Quest was
Johnny
always,
Quest.
That one was the only cartoon I ever watched, and at such a young age too. I was like traumatized by the fact that they killed people in it. But anyway, yeah, people died
It was like
every
a
other
precursor
episode.
to James Bond. You know, like
I don't know about James Bond, but definitely a lot of the kids spy shows that they have now.
Mm-hmm.
I could totally see a little bit of Johnny Quest in there.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
that the Venture Brothers were total ripoff.
Oh,
total
well,
ripoff of Johnny
satirical
Quest.
ripoff.
Yeah. Sid and Marty Krofft, yeah, they did those live animation things that where it proves to me that everybody in Hollywood had ADHD.
HC
and,
Hufflepuff.
oh, yeah, HC Puff and stuff. And
Yes,
also
yes.
they did a Sigmund the Sea Monster.
Yes,
And
yeah,
what else did they do? The Banana Splits, I think, is one of their productions. But
I think so.
yeah, those shows were the reason why we all have ADHD now, and also proves to me that everybody in Hollywood in the 70s was on some kind of hallucinogenic.
The monkeys. It's not cartoon, but remember the monkeys?
The TV show?
Yes.
Barely. See, I never liked watching live action stuff. I don't know what was wrong with me. But if it was a cartoon, like Battle Beyond or Battle of the Planets, which later got changed to G-Force, was one that I watched. Hey, you got to watch that one. That one was cool. Voltron, of course, Robotech. I started to watch, but yeah, that was like wholesale carnage and violence and space
That
battle
was
form.
great though when we started first getting in like the anime like stuff. You know,
Yeah,
like Voltron.
it was so different than what we were used to.
Yeah.
You know, it was more realistic looking than say Scooby Doo and Shaggy with his.
Yeah.
Did he have a goatee or did he not,
yeah,
or
yeah.
just a mutated chin? I could never tell. You know. It's true. He's from The Hills Have Eyes. Anyway, so that's why we never talk about it really, because A, it's been off the air for like a decade, and B, I don't consider it the greatest cartoon ever, Rhonda. Right. All right, Kurt in Roland, Oklahoma. Why all the hate for, speaking of Scooby-Doo, why all the hate for Scrappy-Doo? I started watching, I think he's in reference to my comment last week about, with Nickelodeon and the green slime.
Right,
And you had to say, I don't know, and they dumped the green slime. And I said, what about dogs? And Spencer said, dogs don't talk. I'm like, Scooby-Doo.
Right.
Then I said, Scrappy-Doo, and then I'd rather see battery acid poured on his head than slime. But anyway, I started watching Scooby-Doo at about the time he was introduced, I think, and never had a problem with him. Well, that's probably why. If you watch Scooby-Doo before he ever got on there, yeah, Scrappy was kind of the death nail in the Scooby-Doo coffin, if you ask me.
He was annoying.
He was. I hated that whole puppy power thing.
And you could tell towards the end too, before they like got rid of him too, that like even Scooby-Doo was getting annoyed with him. And that's a cartoon. You know,
they were scripting that in there. I
right,
think they're channeling the fans. I think at that point.
And then the worst part was that they spun him off to the 13 Ghosts TV with Daphne and Vincent Price.
Really?
Yeah, and it was like with Scrappy. It's like,
yeah, if his name was in it, I didn't watch it.
I watched it because I liked the premise, but it was just like,
why did it have to be Scrappy?
Yeah.
Why? So yeah, that's why I never liked Scrappy-Doo. He was annoying from the beginning. Eric also says he'd like to see a new version of Gilligan's Island, and I say absolutely not. But anyway,
they would be able to, like, it'd be so like, how could they not get off the island at this day?
They better be stranded on a different planet.
Yeah,
is what it be.
like-
It better be like a Lost in Space episode. All right, Christopher in Danbury, Connecticut. Oh, he likes Scooby. It wasn't his brother. I think it was his cousin, Scooby Dum.
Mm-hmm. Scooby Dum. Yeah,
that was his cousin.
the great.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had a whole crime site. Like they were like the Southern Scooby Doo like group.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Oh wow, they were really stretching.
And then they had that other one with the ghost. Instead, he was like some weird like pirate ghost. I can't remember the name of the show, but it was they had a dune buggy that talked.
Oh, that was Speed Buggy. I remember.
Yes,
that's when they started cross promoting with other cartoons, like Captain Caveman and stuff.
Yes. Oh, I love Captain Caveman. I got to play him.
I know some
occasionally.
people who look like Captain Caveman, but that's beside the point. Christopher from Danbury, Connecticut. You just showed the word. It's world. How racist you were for not liking the new TMNT movie because of April O'Neil being black. TMNT is the abbreviations for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because he couldn't type that out, I guess. I don't know. Since his autocorrect couldn't correct him on World, I'd assume that's why. I never made a comment about April O'Neil being black, actually.
Yeah.
Spencer mentioned that he wasn't too thrilled with the whole race swap of April O'Neil, but Spencer was the only one who said anything about that. And you know what? So what? It's his prerogative. I might have just been, one of those unfortunate purists, as we're like to be labeled. But if he's a purist about it, so what? That's his opinion.
Right.
If he didn't like it for that reason, that's his hang up. Not mine.
I don't think that was the reason why he didn't like it, but
no.
I think it contributed, maybe.
No, actually, from everything he said, it did not. It was.
I mean,
not
that's what I'm saying.
factor.
That's why I said maybe at the end. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't remember mentioning her at all.
Yeah, I don't remember you and her being interested, mentioned it at all either. You really showed your true colors, which is pretty ironic since he's saying that true colors and that I'm a racist in the same email.
Gotcha.
But anyway, and I hope you're off the air next week. Well, I hope to disappoint you. All right, so moving on from the hate. Tim in Roseville, California. That's not too far from here.
Yep.
I'm completely behind the writers and actors strike. Mm-hmm. Okay, good for you. How come you don't talk more about that on the show? And why don't you show your support for the strike? All right, that's a couple of questions to unpack there. First off, I do talk about it on the show when they did go on strike. That's kind of I did mention that while it's going on, it is kind of a lead story every week. Because it has ramifications for not only the actors and also the writers. The strikes also affect everybody in the industry, from the caterers to the lighting guys to the sound guys to the makeup artists. Everybody who's involved in a production is now out of a job, waiting for the strike to be settled.
Right.
So, and somebody posted a while back, hey, all you writers, they need English lit teachers. So if you're needing money or a job while on strike, become a teacher, which I don't know if that's actually something that they can do with, being as a part of a union to seek other employment while on strike.
I have no idea.
Yeah. So
I don't remember. My dad would go on strike all the time with his union, but I don't remember like the ins and outs of it. I was like 12.
I don't know the ins and outs of. I'm not part of a union. I've never been a part of a union. I don't know the ins and outs of that. So, if they can, I would say, knock yourself out. Make sure you're getting, yourself taken care of. Other than that, why don't you show your support for the strike? Because this radio show is not a forum for supporting or not support or either side of any kind of dispute. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I know Rob has a positive opinion of the strike, and I know Spencer also has a positive opinion of the strike, but the show is not a place for us to have that kind of a conversation, and that is why, Tim. So, yeah, there you are.
And I think we mentioned, like, how many days. We mentioned some lead story about what's
It's every week.
Yeah, so it's just not the major topic of the week.
No, I mean, there's always stuff to get to. Mm-hmm. So those are the emails for the last 2 weeks that I'm able to read. If you'd like to send us an email, again, you can send it to popculturekaboom@gmail.com. And the Phoenix question of the week, which is going to be, which tabletop game was your favorite growing up that you wish you still had? Any thoughts on that, Rob?
That I wish I still had?
I don't remember. I'm trying to think of a game that I used to play when I was a kid that I
don't have anymore.
Or couldn't get anymore.
I know, that's what I'm like.
Because as far as I know, they're all pretty much still... Operation was always an interesting game.
Well, that one was great about like Operations, that it changed over time. Like the Monopoly games, you got different variations of it,
Yeah.
So that was good. Like in Clue, too, you got different variations of Clue.
I always wanted them to make like a Road Warrior version of the Game of Life.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting. They should expand on that one.
You know what? They changed Life, like from like the way back when to now. Like it's different. Like it's
really,
yeah. It's not as hard. Like
you're telling me. If only the kids these days knew that. So yeah, I can't think of any game that I did not have as a youth that I can't get to now. So that is that. So with the music coming up, that means that it is time for us to take a hard break. When we get back, there will be more Pop Culture Kaboom radio show, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Pop Culture Kaboom radio show. Everything you want, everything you need in pop culture entertainment. All right, so the big story this week, as in the past couple of weeks, the WGA strike is now officially in its 89th day, and the SAG-AFTRA strike is in its 17th day. And with the SAG-AFTRA and WGA strikes currently raging on, it's a really weird time to be a media company having a Q2 2023 earnings call. But that's exactly what Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav and his team had ready to go, and it was definitely a mixed bag of results. Without being able to tout the benefits of Barbie until next quarter, Warner Bros. Discovery missed Wall Street goals on a number of levels, but it scored huge when it came to having free cash on hand. But the fact that a decent chunk of that came from as a air quotes benefit, using that word loosely, stemming from the strike's slowing and shuttering productions, thus monies not being spent, won't and shouldn't sit well. In addition, it looks like television and film release schedules will remain fluid, while Zaslav teased some streaming movement coming soon on the sports and news side. As far as Wall Street expectations go, there were some misses. Warner Brothers Discovery's loss per share came in at 52 cents, 10 cents worse than Wall Street's estimated 42 cents. In addition, revenue dropped 4% from the previous year's quarter, with $10.358 billion also coming in below expectations, while streaming numbers saw a loss of 1.8 million subscribers, 85.8 million total subscribers. Some of the big reasons noted included the box office bomb that was the Ezra Miller starring The Flash, a volatile and ad sales marketplace, and the cost of the linear television business. As far as the flow of free cash goes, Warner Bros. Discovery reached $1.7 billion, more than doubling the $785 million from the same quarter last year, and surpassing Wall Street's thoughts on the matter. While streaming losses are there should have been an R in there, are beginning to slow down, and Warner Bros. Discovery now looking for $5 billion in cost savings post Warner Bros. Discovery merger, the SAG-AFTRA and WGA strikes. While Zaslav was hopeful that all sides will get back to the negotiating room soon, and that these strikes get resolved in a way that the writers and actors feel that they are fairly compensated. Here comes the villain. Warner Brothers Discovery CFO Gunnar Weidenfels touted the benefits that the company has earned from the strike.
Benefits. Oh, my God.
The benefits, and here's the quote, we estimate we're in the low 100 million range during the quarter, Weidenfels shared. In fact, CFO expects the company to see its free cash flow grow even further in Q3 because of the strikes. That's not really something you want to be bragging about, I mean, quite honestly. But hey, you know, if you're not paying anybody, of course you're going to have free money. I mean, right? No, go ahead, say it. I know. Oh, come on. We got a dump button.
I just hope that they lay into him like they did to Bob Iger. That's all I can say.
Yeah, or worse, actually, because, you know, his are a little bit more, I don't know, it kind of signifies the greed that everybody talks about by talking like that, so...
I did hear, though, that they are starting to want to negotiate again with the WGA. So I did see a couple articles over the weekend about that. I haven't.
Well, of course they do, because they got to get those writers back in here so they can get their stuff finished.
Well, yeah. But I think, you know, I mean, this leads more and more. I think that the TV needs to adopt more of the European model where they have different shows each quarter instead of the same show for the entire, September through June, like.
Oh well, they take that mid-season break.
But that's what I mean. Like, if they adopted more of that, where they had different shows each quarter, the shows lasted 12 episodes, 18 whatever they're lasting, 21 episodes. Then boom, you have a new show. They wouldn't be scampering for programs,
That is true. Well, and here's another thing too. If they wrote more than 8 episodes, that would be nice.
But that's more on the streaming side than it is on.
It depends on the show, because like Walking Dead, it was like a major minor miracle that their final season was actually in double digits.
Yeah, and then what is it? I think the new one, the Maggie spinoff one,
it was only 6 episodes.
Yeah, but that's going to get a season 2.
or the second half of season 1, however
right?
you want to look at it. I mean, come on. It all depends on your viewpoint on that, I guess. But yeah, so, if they wrote more than, single digits for an episode count, then that would be nice. I mean, I think what we do in the shadows is the only show that actually comes to mind, even though it seems like it's a total improv troupe that has that, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Another weird show that seems like it's an improv group rather than an actual show. So, if they actually, the scripted comedies or scripted shows, regardless of what they are, actually went longer than 10 episodes, I think would be good. That was my biggest complaint about The Expanse too, that it was so, because that was good, but it was so short each season that it was like, come on.
And that's how, and I think that's because that's how sci-fi started doing their limited, like, they would bring out the new series, like, even like with their Battlestar Galactica, when they brought that back, it was like, I think 12 episodes or something like that, like the first season, like it was like you brought it back, but then you shortened it. Like, we want these episodes. We want to see these, shows tell the story, 18 episodes, not 8. I
was about to say, remember when MASH used to be like 23 episodes a season?
And that's the thing, like even The Simpsons and like Family Guy and stuff, they're still like 21 episodes.
Yeah.
And those have to go through a lot because they got the writing, they got the animating, they have,
voice acting.
The voice, so versus, okay, we're editing it, boom. We just filmed
here's the script, there you go.
And especially with like these new things, like I know Star Trek has that kind of green screen studio type thing like Disney does, where they can build practical sets that meld with the background, and they can have additional things going. And it was like really cool, evident on the last episode of Strange New Worlds, because they were showing like the intimate amount of like the medic happening, but the battle in the background happening.
Really?
Yeah. So it was really cohesive. So,
nice.
And I think with the the advantages of that they could do more. So.
Well, and also the advantages of that from just looking at it from an actor standpoint, you're not pretending.
Yeah.
that something's going on in the background.
Exactly.
You can actually see something going on,
exactly.
Which would be kind of distracting for me too, because I can't multitask.
I'd be like
that.
Wow, like, oh my god,
holy no, can't say that on TV, can I?
Wait, did that just happen?
oh. Well, I guess we better be calling.
Wait, is that the one I'm supposed to say?
Oh, so many things I could add to that, but I'm not going to. But anyway, so yeah, that actually is that sounds really. Oh, I got a question for you. So you're watching Strange New Worlds? Have they done the musical episode yet?
Absolutely fabulous. I actually listened to because they release a soundtrack too on streaming services.
Really?
Oh yes, I've listened to the soundtrack. It was really good because it was like a true musical episode. The musical pieces were the continuation of the story. They weren't there for just I'm singing in the rain type of thing. No, it was to move the story along.
They sang about it.
Yeah.
And it was like classic musicals then.
But yeah, well, yeah, and it was great because it was all about the fold, like this. They found a fold in a space fold, and they were trying to communicate with it, and they found out that music was the way that they were able to communicate with it. They sent out
because music is a universal language.
Well, yeah, and they sent it out, and then everybody's like, and it was funny because the first song that they sing, everyone's like, "It's so confounding. I don't know why we're singing," like, and the captain kept going, "Yes, but why are we singing?" Like, it was just like this whole like. It was great. I loved it. It was great. It was,
Wow. So the whole singing part, was that like, was it something like affecting them to make everything come out as a song?
It was like, it was kind of like, there's always a problem. So they had to solve out like how to stop the singing. And so in order for them, it was always triggered by an emotional response. And so it was like, hey, this is going to actually be like a security threat because people are going to start saying like, oh, we got a caller.
That's what they're going to be saying?
No, but we got a caller.
I know. Okay, hello, caller. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Robert from Dreamworld.
Hey, Robert. How's it going, buddy?
All right. Hey, the musical episode was awesome.
Yeah, see? I told you.
See, I don't watch the Star Trek anymore. Well, you know my opinion about the Star Treks right now because it's a prequel, so I'm not too thrilled about prequels. So, but as long as you guys are able to, so you enjoyed it very much.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So does it have that classic Star Trek vibe when it does stuff like that, or no?
Well, it's the only genre Star Trek hasn't tackled.
Right.
Till now.
Right.
Because I did remember reading that, they liked it so much they're going to actually include it in another
I think so.
Next
like,
season.
Well, and reading back, looking at a lot of them actually had musical theater background or like stage Broadway background, so this was like, I'm like, oh, that's why they could all actually sing. Like,
Wow. So you enjoyed that episode, Rob? So I take it, Robert?
Oh, yeah. The numbers were, with the storyline, it brought out character traits that you didn't know. Set up future episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Really good episode, yeah.
And you remember I was saying, like, they always have a problem to solve. Well, in order to solve the problem, they had to get the entire ship to sing spontaneously the same song. Like,
how would you even coordinate that? Okay.
They had the communications officer.
So the communications officer actually earned their job.
She started.
Okay.
Well, and it was cool because they started talking about how that she actually had to resort to the way they did it before, and she's on her board going, "All right, I'll get that to you," and she's sending like a switchboard operator.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I will check that out because that does sound
even as a one-off episode. I think you'd enjoy it, even if you had no idea what was actually happening, like to the characters. You know what I mean?
Or who the characters are. Well,
No, they actually bring it out in the music why the song pertains to each character.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
So you don't need to know anything about what's going on.
Yeah, that's what I said as a one-off. It's perfect to just watch.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I will probably, if I can find some time this week, because I got some big stuff in motion right now. If I can find the time, I will get that. I will try and check that out. Usually, I've been avoiding all of these, especially STD. I was avoiding that, but no pun intended that I was avoiding the STD. But anyway, so yeah, I will check that out. So what else has been going on, Robert?
Not much. I've got the store open, so I'm just doing stuff. We had a really good day, so
nice.
I got to say, it was a good day.
Rebuilding the store right now.
Oh,
rebuilding.
Yeah, we got hit pretty hard, so it was.
I was going to say recovery.
Doing it.
When you said got hit really hard, I was like, "Whoa, what does that mean?" Oh, Spencer is joining us via text message.
Oh,
he liked the X-Men cartoon. That was awesome.
Okay.
I got.
Robert, did you have a favorite cartoon?
Cartoon. I loved Battle for the Planet.
Wasn't that the one that later got changed to G-Force, where it had
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. That one was weirdly awesome. And
it was, in a strange way, 7 Zark 7, and God, I forget the characters, Mark and Jason and Princess, and
yeah,
I can't remember the other one.
Tiny. They always it was always a thing with the Japanese animation back then. They always had a really big
person
guy
named Tiny. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Which
and then Keop. Remember Keop?
Oh yeah. Those were the days.
It was, and they joined together and turned the ship into the Phoenix.
The Fiery Phoenix, actually.
The Fiery Phoenix, that's right.
Wow, those were the days. Kids,
Yeah.
Google it. If you're not of a certain age and you're sitting here scratching your head, wondering, or looking at your radio like a dog that just heard a strange noise, Google Battle Beyond the Planets or G-Force, either one. They all had like bird-themed costumes and colors, so it was definitely. Yes, I think it was pretty much Power Rangers before Power Rangers, Eric.
Yeah, it really was, yeah. And Ted Knight was one of the announcers on Super Friends.
God, Ted Knight.
He was?
Yeah.
But you remember that whole... Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice.
Ted Knight. Oh, my God.
All right, sir. Well, we're getting close to
Gotcha.
another hard break, so we're going to let you go. But, hey, thanks for calling in, and... Wow, that was a stroll. I forgot their names until you started rattling them off. Mark and Jason, those two always butted heads, and Princess always wore the little mini skirt thing. And
Oh, yeah.
Tiny was always eating. Shocker!
Right?
He was kind of like I won't go down that road.
All right.
All right, sir. Well, thank you for calling in, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right. So yeah, we left off with talking about we are aging ourselves. Actually,
Yes.
Thank you.
It's a good age to be.
Got my ARP card, ready to go to.
I can't wait for my ARP card, man. They got some
Really?
good discounts.
Oh wow, you already researched it, huh? Dang.
No, my brother-in-law, who's like way younger than me, he was reminding me. We were talking about it. I go, hey, man, I'm ready for ARP. He's like, dude, they have some good discounts. I'm like, oh, they do. Like,
Yeah, like at Denny's.
ooh,
Senior discounts at Denny's, man. All right. We didn't get much
at the casinos. Can't wait for that.
to say. What?
The senior days at the casinos.
Really?
Yeah.
They have those? I did not know that. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We were talking about the musical Star Trek.
Yep.
Yeah, we were, weren't we? Thank you, Eric, for keeping our beer in our place caper. But unfortunately, the music's coming up, so that means we'll be back because we got. Eric just got his offer actually.
Got his
ARP.
Oh,
So that's funny. All right, so more Pop Culture Kaboom radio show after this, so don't go anywhere because we still got a lot of stuff coming up. And welcome back to the Pop Culture Kaboom radio show. Everything you want, everything you need in pop culture entertainment. So, Bleeding Cool previously reported on Shock, a black horror anthology coming from Second Sight. It now seems they will be working with Dark Horse Comics to bring the comic book anthology wider distribution and prominence, boasting more than 200 pages of dread. They don't make them like that anymore. From award-winning black writers and artists, it also boasts the largest collection of Glyph Comics Awards winners and nominees in a single publication.
wow.
Well, I'd imagine so if you have 200 pages.
That's actually kind of cool. It's an anthology, though, so there's going to be multiple stories, so that's cool, too.
Yeah, but 200 pages, usual comic book is about 22 pages, so you got about 10 stories in that one issue, at least, approximately.
Maybe.
Approximate.
Maybe they're going with longer stories,
Or shorter.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't.
Yeah.
I didn't get an advanced copy. You hear me?
I
need an advanced
we weren't
copy.
privy on those conversations.
Yeah. And we didn't get an advanced copy. Anyway, collection editor and COO of Second Sight Publishing, Marcus Roberts, says the project is a collaboration between John Jennings, Bradley Golden, and myself, who all hail from the South. Me too. Our brand of horror has been called Southern Gothic Horror and has been in the making for 2 years. Wow, that's a long time. Shock! A black horror anthology will be in bookstores January 30th, 2024, and comic shops January 31st, 2024. So the next day. Why didn't you just say that? Also from Bleeding Cool, they were the first to notice the presence of the Sacrificers, launching from Image Comics for Free Comic Book Day 2023. I remember when I went over all of these Free Comic Book Day comic books? And this is why I went over all of those free comic books. So this is a collector's alert ahead of its upcoming launch as an ongoing series that was released this week. and it seems anticipation in the comic book market is high. Copies of the Free Comic Book Day edition, of which there were over 100,000 printed and given away for free, because it was free Comic Book Day in comic book stores, have been selling for around $7 on eBay, which is not unusual. But copies of the Free Comic Book Day exclusive cover from Collector's Paradise, which were also given away for free, have been selling copies on eBay up to $40.
Now, how did you end up with those ones versus the other ones?
You would have to go to, I just lost where my place in this article, or I could have told you, like, Collector's Paradise.
Okay.
So apparently, let me look up. I think Collector's Paradise is an exclusive store that does the.
So they had certain variant covers.
They had their own specific variant cover, apparently.
Gotcha.
So even though the store itself is selling copies directly for $10 right now, that's a 400% markup. Well, yeah, it's going to be like anything markup when it was free,
right?
Otherwise known as easy money. And it was only and by the way, that variant cover, there was only a print run of 1,000. Oh. So very rare comic book. If you can get your hands on one now, if the Sacrificers is as anticipated as they're making it sound, then it'll definitely continue to go up in value.
Yeah.
So Neil Gaiman is talked about it last week, I believe, that he's doing a graphic novel that's on Kickstarter.
Right.
The Apocalypse tier for the Good Omens graphic novel Kickstarter, which launched today for Sir Terry Pritchard's estate, Neil Gaiman and Colleen Doran, was available to just one person who donated $10,000 or 8,000 euro to the project. In return, one generous person will get to be named will get to be a named character who appears in the graphic novel in the foreground with an original sketch by Neil Gaiman and a print of your cameo signed by Colleen, as well as William the Antichrist hardcover signed by Neil, signed copy of the Good Omens graphic novel, the floppy disk Keeper of the Official Master exclusive Beelzebub enamel pin on a Hell card, exclusive Metatron enamel pin on a Heaven card, Neil Gaiman and Terry Pritchard collector's enamel pin set, Crawley and Azrael socks. Azrael. Am I saying that correctly?
I do not have to see it.
It'd be from it's Aziraphale.
Azrael, yeah.
Azrael? Oh, cool. A3 Geisel print signed by Colleen. Creator theme notebooks, 1x Neil Gaiman, 1x Terry Pritchard, 5x Good Omens enamel pins, a giant map of Tadfield, loot pack number 2, loot pack number 1, variant Frank quietly covered desk cover, 1x copy of the Good Omens graphic novel hardback, and in the time it took me to a sale, that somebody bought it.
Right? I was just going to say, I hope somebody,
Oof. No, literally, somebody did buy it. So somebody forked out $10,000 to be in a comic book. So I guess that's one way to get into a comic book. But never fear.
It would actually, though, is different, though, from past Kickstarter campaigns that I've heard of, is that this character is actually in the foreground with an original story. So they're actually, not just, oh, hi, you appear. No, they're, in the story.
They're part of the story.
Yeah, So...
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because usually it's just like a background.
Yeah, right.
Here you are.
Right, exactly.
Page 7 for.
Right. Oh, and oops, it got edited out.
Yes, page 7, panel 4. That's all you get.
Right.
Thanks for your money.
Oh, it's a profile. Sorry.
But never fear, there are 10 more opportunities to appear in the Good Omens graphic novel as more of a background character.
We were just talking about.
Maybe you're there while Crawley and Azrael feed some ducks. Maybe you're there for walking your dog in the background. Yeah, who knows what they're. Maybe you're there for something a bit more high octane, or maybe you're stuck on the M25. I don't know what that means. What you'll be up to will be at the discretion of Colleen, but there are plenty of places in the journey towards the apocalypse that we can't wait to see where you will turn up. You'll also get a print for of your priceless cameo signed by Colleen. That's for a mere $3,500 or 2,750 pounds or whatever British monetary system is. Checking now. Still 10 left still 10 left if you are quick. And if you get all of the other stuff named above as well, that goes along with the Apocalypse package.
So you get all that other stuff too?
Yeah. Well, kinda.
Well, with the exception of the foreground character?
Correct.
Well, dang.
Yeah.
Like, that seems like a bigger bargain.
Well, I'm sure they've made enough money. I'm sure those are all tier unlocks,
right,
onto Kickstarter. So I'm sure everything's unlocked now. So, go ahead and you're going to get everything. But that's a little bonus, I guess. There are also cheaper levels with a variety of things you can get. The Good Omens graphic novel itself, when it is released, will be $26 or £20. Wow. Here's a punny one for you.
Oh, jeez.
Think I'm kidding? This Halloween Capwolf is putting the howl back in the Howling Commandos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I could not write that with a straight face. Marvel Comics on Friday announced Capwolf and the Howling Commandos, a 4-issue limited series. The World War II set story teams Sergeant Nick Fury and his Howling Commandos, Corporal Dum Dum Dugan, Gabriel Gabe Jones, Robert Rebel Ralston, Jonathan Jr. Jupiter, Izzy Cohen, I guess he doesn't get a
fun nickname.
Yeah, he doesn't get a nickname. And Dino Manelli with Steve Rogers, the Sentinel of Liberty, who becomes the Sentinel of Lycanthropy. That was bad. This 4-issue limited series, did somebody think they were actually writing for like Comedy Special or something? I don't know. This 4-issue limited series will tell an all-new story where Steve becomes a terrifying werewolf during an early World War II mission. Luckily, his fiercest allies are by his side, Nick Fury and the Howling Commandos. After years of combat, this elite squad of soldiers thought they've seen it all, but this might be their wildest adventure yet, as the series captures the spirit of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's classic wartime storytelling with a modern mystical twist.
I don't know. It's kind of like interesting to see werewolf with, Captain America powers.
or just a uniform on.
Right.
Yeah.
But is it ripped? Because
of course it is.
Or is it or does he just have the pants?
Yeah, that's right. He wouldn't have the red boots, those trademark red boots. And would he still carry the shield?
That's what I mean.
Or would it be like, his ears sticking out the helmet?
Yeah, but that would be ripped. I mean, obviously, a
those
wolf
are some
head
good
versus...
ears, the ears going through there.
Yeah, but a wolf head versus a human head,
Yeah, Eric, Hydra was not enough. You got to have werewolves in there too. So apparently,
I guess they're taking the Howling Commandos literally.
Wow, now you're getting punny about it, that's all right. You get punny. So from the comic books being released August 9th, at least here, I highlight the number one issues and or major story or anniversary issues that are being released because those are the ones that have the most value interest to collectors and investors. Don't base your buying decisions solely on my opinion. It, after all, is only my opinion. Keep this list to a minimum. I do not include in it trade paperbacks, graphic novel collections, hardcover, softcover volumes, or reprints. If you are an independent comic book company or creator and you have something coming out, please let me know by sending me an email at popculturekaboom@gmail.com. Put upcoming comics in the subject line and include in the body of the email the publisher's name, the title of the book or books, when the book or books will be coming out, and the issue number so I can add your book or books in the future. First up from AWA Studios, Madness, number 1 of 6, with a wallet-busting 5 cover variants. No, it's not the band Madness from the 80s. Just so you know. Blood Moon Comics has... Duchenne Smile, number 1, one-shot with 2 cover variants. Duchenene.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Well, that was good enough for me. Boom Studios has Mech Cadets, number 1, with a wallet-busting 7 cover variants. Comic Book Guys has the longest title of the week. They also have a comic book coming out titled Revenant's Escape from New York Comic Con, number 1, one-shot with a wallet-busting 6 cover variants. DC Comics has Superman 2023 Annual Number 1 one-shot with a wallet-busting 6 cover variants. What? No list of like 20 different titles that say, what is their thing going on right now? Nightmare or something or other, Dream Realm, whatever it is.
Right.
Okay, Dynamite Entertainment.
Uh-oh.
Vampirilla Dracula Rage number 1. You want to take a stab in the dark on how many cover variants this week?
27.
Wow, not bad. Pretty close. 22.
I was going to say 22. But I was like, no, that was too close to last week.
By 1, too, because it was 21 last week.
Right.
So, yes, a bank-busting 22 cover variants for Vampirilla Dracula Rage number 1. And it's not even Dracula's Rage. It's just Dracula Rage. Image Comics has Enfield...
Dracula can't speak English anymore.
No. Enfield Game Massacre number 1. Gang Massacre number 1 of 6. That sounds like a family-friendly comic book. Marvel Comics has Children of the Vault number 1 of 4 with 4 cover variants. Ghost Rider Wolverine Weapons Vengeance Alpha number 1 of 4. That sounds like code.
Right?
With a...
Go.
Vengeance Alpha, go. With a wallet-busting 11 cover variants. Spider-Man Annual number 1 with 2 cover variants. Star Wars Return of the Jedi Max Rebo number 1 with 4 cover variants. Why doesn't that just say one shot? I mean, how many comics can you make of Max Rebo? He was the piano player.
I know, that's what I like.
And he had no arms. He played with his feet, I found out. So, it's like not very articulate toes, but what else is it going to do? Anyway.
Anything goes.
Ani Press. Dwellings number 1 of 3 with a wallet-busting 5 cover variants. Rebellion 2000 AD with Battle Action number 1 of 5 with 2 cover variants. Scout Comics has Comic Books Kill number 1, go, with 2 cover variants. Just kidding.
Go.
No,
Okay.
just kidding about that part. And Titan Comics has Scarlet Contour, the Munich File number 1 of 5 with a wallet-busting 7 cover variants. So that would... am I keeping you awake?
Huh?
I'm just kidding. So, not too much on the front of comic books being real, but again, bear in mind those are just, like I said, number 1 issues and or anniversary issues. So, but there was a ton of comic books coming out this week. A lot of different goofy ones, like in between issues. Mm-hmm. So, can't wait for a couple of actual different series to be starting up here in the next couple of months. Let's see what happens with those.
What series are you most anticipating?
Well, I'm waiting specifically for Poison Ivy to start back up again. Once the Night Terrors, that's what it is. Uh-huh. Garbage Ends that DC is running right now, because I am not a fan of that at all. I think the Nightmare Creature looks like the Wicker Man or something. I don't know. The picture I saw was just the goofiest looking thing I've ever seen. He's got like long wooden looking fingers and swimming goggles or something. I don't know what he's got going on, but it just did not look right. Did not look scary, that's for sure. So I think Nightmare in the Marvel universe is scarier looking than this. Right. It looked like somebody just threw a bunch of garbage together and, hey, look at me.
Kind of steampunky, but not.
Well, no, not even steampunky. Just goggles. So welding, just weird looking goggle eyes.
Goggle
not
eyes.
Google eyes, goggle eyes. So, yeah.
The man with the goggle eyes.
Are you going to do musical everything now because we talked about that?
I don't know.
I hope not. Because that's the second one I caught within the last 5 minutes.
It's not on purpose, I got to tell you that.
It's what?
It's not on purpose.
Uh-oh. It sounds like there's a plot. We better solve this problem and quickly. And, thank you for listening. Welcome back to the Pop Culture Kaboom, a radio show. Everything you want, everything you need in pop culture entertainment. And let's get into some cons and events, shall we? Here are the cons and events I was able to find going on worldwide the week of August 7th through August 13th. I cannot stress enough that if you do not go to these events, they will stop happening or will not return to your area. So if you're thinking, I'll go next week, next month, next year, they might not happen near you ever again. Period. If one or more of these are near you, go check them out. And if they are not, check your local game, hobby, and comic book shops for great events going on in your area. If you have or know of a pop culture event coming up in your area, I can add to this list. Please contact me at popculturekaboom@gmail.com. Put upcoming event in the subject line, and in the body of the email, include the name of the event, the day and dates it will be running, and where it will be taking place, so I can add it to my upcoming lists. First up, August 10th through the 13th is Anime Matsuri 2023 at the George R. Brown Convention Center in Houston, Texas. August 10th through the 13th is Fan Expo. Okay. August 13th through this, and that was a little premature. Whoa, a little bit of feedback, and hit the top one. Nope. There you go. And
That's right, I forgot.
Lloyd, Natosha, you there?
Yeah.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good. Oh, did he get it?
You both should be there, right?
No, I have to call Lloyd back.
Well, who else is on the line here? Oh, they hung up. Whoever that was, they hung up. So never mind. So Natosha, you're on the line?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, can we put you on hold for just 1 second so he can, because he has to get Lloyd on the line, unless you want to tell Lloyd to give us a call.
Yeah, I can wait. It'll be fine.
All right, 775-515-4141, and we'll patch him right in as we get started.
Oh, all right.
So, now that he has that information, so Natosha, no, Lloyd, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. So I got Lloyd and Natosha Jones on the line. They are the owners and creators at Midnight Comics. And first off, they were on the show not too long ago, and they had the Kickstarter for Soul, which actually was funded in 12 hours.
Nice.
Now they're on this week because they have a new Kickstarter coming out. They have a double feature Kickstarter for 2 comic books, The Gray, and I'm going to mispronounce. Am I pronouncing this correctly? Admani?
Yep, perfect.
Yay! Yay me. It is so rare I actually get something right when it comes to pronouncing. I'm not kidding. You have a double feature of both #1 issues coming out for this Kickstarter. And congratulations, you were funded in 8 hours.
Woohoo!
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And also, you're being featured on the Kickstarter front page as a projects we love. So congratulations on that as well.
Yes.
So you guys are just knocking it out of the ballpark. How do you feel?
Amazing.
Excited.
Very much so.
Amazing and excited, both at the
so
same
awesome.
time. I mean, congratulations. I actually have the Kickstarter up right here in front of me, which is so it's already been funded. So you guys are all set. You're golden, but you still got 11 days worth of for anybody who's listening that would like to go and check it out. So, and this is only, by the way, their 4th created Kickstarter. So
Dang.
yeah. So you know what that tells me right there?
You guys are great.
Yeah, you
What
guys.
you're doing, yeah.
Thank you.
People want what you guys are making, and I'm glad to be a part of that by having you on to talk about it. So, I'm going to go all the way down to the big Kahuna one, the Midnight Collector, where you get 14 items by doing this tier level, including the Gray issue #1, the Gray issue #1 cover poster, the Gray Tinkerer poster.
Sorry.
What is the Tinkerer poster?
No, just her tinkering with some text. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pretty
It's
straightforward.
essentially the cover for issue 0 as a poster, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's really cool.
Yep, I see that. Plus 10 more. What the heck happened there? And then the Many Tales from Midnight physical, 11 items included. The Gray #1 physical, Soul #2, yay, and Monty issue #1, and plus 7 more physical items. So you guys are pretty much giving away a lot of stuff depending on what tier. But since you guys have already funded, Where do you guys look to go from here? I mean, the story in itself. Let's start with that. The Gray issue number 1. What is the Gray comic book going to be about?
Ooh, you want me to do this one, Tosh?
It's your favorite part?
Okay, fair enough. So, the Gray, she's a physicist named Shamika Day, and she has managed to create artificial black holes. And so she's thinking, with this type of tech, we could do a lot of good, but her employer wants to weaponize it. And so she tries to take on this organization as the superhero known as the Gray, but she doesn't know how to fight. So does she have what it takes to face off against this evil organization? And will she be able to defend the solar system from its imminent doom?
Wow, you even got the whole announcer voice going on there. Next year you'll be like, Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Should have had you do the promo for the show. Sundays at Midnight Comics.
That would thank you.
So interesting concept. What made you guys? How did you come up with a black hole technology as being something tangible? And what other purpose could it be used for other than just mass destruction?
Time travel.
Time travel? That'd be an interesting concept.
Maybe. No, right.
You just gave them their next story arc. Nice job, Rob.
Right, thank you.
You're welcome.
One of the things, so I love space stuff. I love black holes, love the mysteries of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that, in the initial creation that we pulled from, if you remember back in like 2007, 2008, the whole thing with CERN and everybody was worried about the Hadron Collider, of that stuff. What if that technology was, made sooner? What if they were able to successfully create artificial black holes and all of that? So, of course, with all of that, we're talking about particle accelerators, right?
Right.
And we know those things. They use that. They test and all of that. And there's actually a guy in the 60s that actually he was cleaning one out in Russia. He was cleaning one. He stuck his face in it, and he got blasted with all that energy. He didn't die or anything, but like his face, like part of his face froze and all that stuff. Not really relevant to what I'm about to get into, but the fact that particle acceleration, the energy that's released, those lasers, it's the same energy that we actually use to get rid of some tumors. Oh. And so, you're thinking, okay, cool, we can use that energy, right, as a potentially new energy source or what have you. But the issue is, what is the power behind it? Well, you're creating an artificial black hole that the energy that it's kind of passively pulling in is the energy that you're using and shooting out and stuff like that. So it can be potentially almost an infinite energy source. And so with that, that's how you would kind of use that as a means of helping the world, right? Like if you had, think like solar energy, but on steroids, if you will.
Right.
So that's the hope that she had. But of course, you're like, oh, I could infinite energy source. What kind of weapons can I make with that? But the part that she's concerned about is, well, if you've got a bunch of people that don't know what they're doing, and, science says, if we had a black hole the size of 1 millimeter hit the planet or come near to the planet, the planet would implode on itself. And so you mass produce something like that, you that's the end of everything. Right. So that's kind of everything that went into that. It was just like, okay, well, what could she do to stop it? Well, that's what you get in the Gray.
Interesting.
Wow.
So
a lot of science behind that.
Yeah. So basically, like a Mobius loop with energy created by an artificial black hole. Yeah, I could see that branching off into different science fiction realms like time travel and everything else. Especially when, because when you said black hole, that was the first thing I thought of was that old Disney movie that I enjoy, The Black Hole, where it seemed like they did a time travel thing, and all of that. And black holes have always been used as wormhole, for even spatial travel. So turning it into like a transporting type system or something like that. So all kinds of interesting applications that could be, story-wise. So it sounds like you got another winner on your hands.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. The stuff that we plan on doing, I'm watching, like, TED Talks and all sorts of, like, reading books on physics, stuff like that, just to make sure that some of these concepts that we're going to be touching on, actually could make sense.
All right. Okay, I was going to ask you, are you like a physicist or?
No,
but he slept at a Holiday Inn Express, so yeah.
Right.
And on top of that, so because it is a double feature release, Admani Admani?
Admani.
Admani.
Okay, so I had it right the first time, and after that, it just went downhill. Wow. All right. So, and what is Admani #1 going to be about?
Well, Admani is about a 17-year-old Fatima who is having to fight both her personal demons as well as the lack of control over some powers that she was bestowed. So she has the ability to create and manipulate fire.
Okay.
However, she doesn't have any control over that ability.
Ah.
And on top of that, while she's trying to struggle with that, she's also struggling with inner demons, mental health struggles, and stuff like that. She has anxiety, depression, and anger issues. And so it's just a whole inner turmoil and battle of her trying to get her life together, essentially, also while being in high school.
Right.
And there's actually something going on in the town she lives in.
Oh.
On top of that.
So physical demons,
Yeah.
emotional demons.
Yeah, okay. And basically every high schooler out there right now.
Right? Yeah.
So how did she get bestowed these powers, or is that part of the a mystery that you have to read to find out?
That's part of the mystery.
Okay.
Intrigue.
Now, well, that's going to lead to my next question. Did she want to be bestowed with those powers?
It's one of those things where she didn't ask for it, but it just happened. And at first, she thought the idea of it was cool. But then, of course, with everything else going on and the lack of control, she hates it. And so she's plagued by these nightmares just about every night of just things going up in flames and total darkness.
Interesting. Yeah, this one also could go off in a bunch of different directions. It could go off in a almost like a fire starter kind of sci-fi way, or it can go in a mystical kind of way also. So there's a couple of different avenues and again, I know it sounds like you guys got another good series on your hands. So I have never been ceased to be amazed by the stuff that Midnight Comics and you, Lloyd and Natosha, are coming up with. You guys are coming up with some great content.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you guys were actually just recently at DreamCon as well. How'd that go?
Oh,
Well, one of us was.
Well, Lloyd was at DreamCon. How'd that go?
It was amazing. So sorry, Tasha. But yeah, it was a whole movie. There were people that remembered us from the previous year, which that was motivational, right? It's like, oh my gosh, you're back when you have new. I think the thing that really made the convention for me was that there were people that were like, oh my gosh, you guys inspired me. I remember y'all last year, and so I wrote my own book. And it was just like, yo, wait a second. Like we're inspiring people.
Mentor.
And then they're vending, and they're like, and there's even people that weren't even writing books. They were just like, you guys are a couple that are taking a chance on working on your passion, and y'all are doing it. So I want to see if I can do it. And they were there vending and stuff and just sharing their story and stuff. I'm just like, it's crazy to think about, like the impact that we're able to have through creating our stories and just, being at events and just being excited about our stuff. We're inspiring others to do the same. And it's crazy to actually see that come to fruition.
That's cool.
That is awesome. And just so you know, though, the kind of the flip side of that is that in the next con, Natosha goes by herself. You got to sit at home.
Exactly. I love it. Just focus.
So I'm just kidding, unless unless that actually is how it plans out. But you know what? I think if you guys are getting funded in 8 hours for a double feature Kickstarter, I think that you have grown exponentially just from that con. And I think that the next appearance you guys do is going to be even more phenomenal than the DreamCon was, and which I hope is very soon, actually, too.
Yeah, same. Honestly, yeah. We're supposed to be hopefully going to one in Philly, J1 Con, so that'd be pretty cool.
You mean Natosha's going?
Right. Apologies, Natosha's going.
Yes, I shall be appearing.
So other than that coming up, what is next for Midnight Comics. I know you guys are doing the YouTube show or channel as well, where you got stories going on there as well. And also, because I think it's a high time, maybe you should be looking at like action figures.
Funny you say
We're
that.
discussing
I have been, actually.
I was being serious. I wasn't trying to be funny on that one. But
No, we have been looking at that, though. Looking at packaging, looking at who can actually do it and stuff like that, and getting the designs done. So, yeah, that's definitely a possibility real soon. So thank you for that, because I know we talked briefly about that.
Yeah, well, I always like to because you guys have an awesome product and definitely needs to be expanded to get into more hands.
And there's demand, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. There's demand. If you're being funded in 8 hours for a double feature, there is demand for your product. So, got to keep the customers happy.
For sure, yeah.
Definitely.
All right, I am talking with Lloyd and Natosha Jones. They are the owners and creative team of Midnight Comics. If you'd like to go and check out everything that they do have a website. It is midnightcomics.org. Unfortunately, guys, I am out of time, unfortunately. But, I definitely, when we first talked about having you on, I honestly wasn't expecting it to be funded in 8 hours. But I'm happy it has been. And, again, congratulations and kudos. If everybody would like to go check it out, at Midnight Comics, Kickstarter.com. They are on the first page as a project we love for Kickstarter. So definitely, and then you just click on the link. There's all kinds of stuff, all kinds of perks, all kinds of tiers. So definitely go check that out. Again, I wish you both much success with all of your endeavors, and congratulations on all of the success that you have had to this point, and more in the future. Can't wait to talk to you again for longer.
Right.
Likewise. Thank you.
All right.
Same.
You guys take care. And when we get back, it'll be movie time with Mr. Tony Sanfilippo. So don't go anywhere. More Pop Culture Kaboom Radio Show right after this. Welcome back to the Pop Culture Kaboom Radio Show. Everything you want, everything you need in pop culture entertainment. Each week, the film powers that be release dozens of movies, some of which you will never hear about except for here. And sorry about that. And they're carefully picked over from Rotten Tomatoes. And what I would watch those genres are action, adventure, horror, science fiction, anime, or fantasy, and that is pretty much it. With that in mind, we sit through some of the most hideous trailers ever made, and we'll read you the synopsis of each film, then give you our not-so-humble opinions. Bear in mind, we are not professional movie critics, we're just overly opinionated blowhards, but Mr. Tony Sanfilippo of Filippo's Horrible Reviews is. You can catch all of Tony Sanfilippo's reviews of concerts, television shows, and movies at Filippo's Horrible Reviews. Yes, I became a Transformer. That's what that was about.
Okay, I was wondering.
Autobots, roll out. Anyway.
Pop Culture Kaboom.
So, Tony, I know that you put up just recently your review of Barbie.
I did. I saw Barbie and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Now, I know you're a huge fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So what was your, not to give away the your horrible review, but were you satisfied with how the movie turned out?
I thought it was pretty good. Overall, there's a lot of nitpicking I would say I have, being a fan. Like, for instance, April O'Neil. Could we have just made a completely new character for the movie? I don't care that she's a different color and she's like Chunky Monkey in this movie. Not being mean, but she's like, let's just create a different character. We don't need it to be April O'Neil. It's just kind of hard when you grow up knowing it as one thing. I don't know. That part was kind of And then Bebop and Rocksteady were good guys in the movie, which is a little weird for me to wrap my head around.
They were good guys?
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
You'll see.
No, I won't.
They're no.
Yeah, you're giving me more reasons not to see
I'm
it.
getting it spoiled. Yeah. No, Bebop and Rocksteady are good guys in this movie, and that's something my brain cannot wrap around even to this point. So,
dude, I thought Seth Rogen was a fan.
Nuts.
I'm sorry, what was that?
They were bad for a little bit, but they became good guys, and it was like, that's not how it goes. So, if you take that out of the aspect, I mean, it wasn't bad. It was definitely more teenage and less ninja. Like, I don't know. I'm saying it like kind of bad. Like, I might be swaying you guys away from it, actually.
Like you're waiting for them to whip out TikTok.
like for example, they learned their ninja skills because Splinter found a VHS tape in the sewer and somehow was able to play this VHS tape.
Yeah, okay.
And it was like an 80s kung fu, yeah. And that's how they learned their ninja skills, was off this 80s VHS tape.
Okay. I'm surprised they didn't just Google, kung fu,
Right?
I'm making it sound really bad. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, the animation was great, guys. The animation was great. The story was
really?
Great,
See, that was my biggest thing, was the animation.
I'm having a hard time convincing you.
Yeah, you're not going to... sorry, sir. I am not buying what you're selling.
No, you're not putting it down. I'm saying it out loud, and I'm like, wait, that kind of sounds lame. Let's just say, if you grew up a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan, you're going to probably be disappointed in a lot of elements. But if you're like... Let's say you have, like, a young kid, and it's their first time seeing Ninja Turtles and stuff, like, it's going to be cool for them.
Okay.
I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. Like I said, there's definitely things I nitpick where I'm like, I don't know about that. So, like, obviously, like, in the cartoons and stuff, it was like the humans that mutated into these, animal mutants and stuff. In the movie, it's just straight up the animals are mutated. There's no humans. So, like...
Then why do they have human teeth? Why do they have human teeth then? That's what I want to know. Turtles don't have teeth.
I don't know. They don't tell you why they do that, yeah.
Okay. Well, Eric...
It was more fun than Barbie for me.
Oh, okay. Speaking of, Eric...
Barbie had some good laughs, though. Barbie had some good laughs.
Speaking of, Eric would like to know if Aqua's Barbie girl is in the Barbie movie.
It is not. It's actually, there is a remix of it, like a cover/remix in the end credits.
Oh, that's hideous.
They like to say the B word a lot, and I'm not saying Barbie, and I'm not going to say it because we're on public radio, so I don't want to cuss at all. But
why, thank you for that.
A lot of B in the mix. Barbie B.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right, so let's get to these 5 movies that we got selected this week. First up is going to be Pod Generation. In a not so distant future, AI is all the rage and nature is becoming a distant memory. It's not that far off, if you ask me. But anyway, tech giant Pegasus offers couples the opportunity to share pregnancy on a more equal footing via detachable artificial wombs, or pods. But at what cost? Rachel and Alvy, a New York couple, are ready to take their relationship to the next level and start a family. Rachel's work gives them a chance to fast track to the top of the Pegasus waiting list, but Alvy, a botanist and devoted purist, has doubts. Nonetheless, his love for Rachel prompts him to take a leap of faith, and so begins the wild ride of parenthood in this brave new world with all its twists, turns, and bumps along the way. Just not baby bumps, apparently. All right. The thing about comedies about the future is that they are comedies until they're not. Sadly, while I watched the trailer, I realized that how far off was the idea from what could be our potential reality in a very near future world time frame. But I guess that is the point of science fiction, isn't it? Unfortunately, with the heady cerebral science fiction topic, what looks to be a well-acted film destined for some kind of Oscar contention just isn't my cup of tea, so I'm going to have to give it a touch, Brown. Tony, what say you?
Well, Amelia and her eggs worked to kickstart her career with Game of Thrones, but I don't think this will be a movie for me. It's definitely going for that Academy Award type audience. Basically, her and her partner are going to have a kid, but it's this egg and it's all the rage. That's how they have kids now in this weird artificial intelligent world. Eggs might be for some people, but my goodness, this is not for me. So touch Brown.
All right. And actually, it was funny because right before the show started, I was talking to Rob about it because I couldn't remember the name of those things, but what were those things called?
Tamagotchis.
Yeah, that's what this whole thing, that's what this whole show reminded me of and I was traumatized because I could never keep those damn things alive.
Well, so. I think too.
We're gonna have a Tamagotchi.
Well, I think too because like
name them Squiggles.
That weird like. I don't know, on the front of the egg, it would, like, come down or expose, like, part of the egg, like a window or something into it. It was, like, bizarre.
So you could watch it grow, like a chia pet.
It was weird.
My sister had a Tamagotchi, and she loved that thing when she's a kid. She's like, every day, I gotta feed the Tamagotchi. It's time to feed him. Okay. I mean, but you're a little kid, but every day, Tamagotchi is hungry. I forget what she named the little thing. It wasn't Squiggles, but she named it something.
Nice. And did it live, or did it die?
It eventually died.
Okay,
and then she just restarted, and it was fine because when you're a kid, you're like, oh, that's sad, and then you
make a new one.
Runs wild, you live again. We'll have a sequel.
All right, the Frankenstein pet. Rob, what say you?
Well, yeah. So she first had dragon eggs. Now she has artificial eggs. Amelia Clark sure likes her eggs. This one's kind of weird. It's kind of like let's take seahorses because the seahorse males give birth in the seahorse realm. So now they're like, oh, here you go, guy, husband, you get to now carry the baby on the outside, and so do I get to carry the baby on the outside in kind of like a trash can container. That's what it reminded me of. It very bizarre plot to me. So yeah, Dutch Brown.
All right, it's official. Even though this is probably going to get lots of Academy Awards and other kind of awards, it's going to be a Dutch Brown from us. All right, Tony, what is next?
So the next one is called Aporia, or is that Aporia? Sorry, Aporia.
However you want to try and pronounce it, I don't care.
Okay, well, I'm going to say Aporia, losing her husband Mal in a drunk driving incident. Sophie has struggled to manage crippling grief, a full-time job, and demands of parenting her devastated teenage daughter when her husband's best friend Jabir, a former psychiatrist, reveals that he has been building a time-bending machine that could restore her former life. Sophie will be faced with an impossible choice and an unforeseeable consequences.
Oh, no.
No, whatever will I do if you bend time? Time travel is such a neat concept, right? The butterfly effect is the scary part. Bring back a lost one. What will it cost you? What will it alter? It never turns out good in everything we ever see. There's always stuff that changes. The trailer is not bad, and it is a little intriguing. I personally wish you could time travel, but not anything where you could alter. Just go back and witness it. That'd be pretty cool. But this is a movie. Just to see loved ones who have since passed would be neat. It does look a little different, but not theater quality for me. Maybe stream. I might give it like the Paul Blart rule and give it 20 minutes just because I'm fascinated with time travel. So I'll give it a low passing blah.
All right. The only thing more confusing than movies about time travel generally are the trailers of movies about time travel. I can't make heads or tails of what's going on. Did they build a time machine? But did she bring her dead husband back with her? It seems to be taking place in a current timeline. Or is it? I don't know. So what's going on with the daughter being there and then not being there? The butterfly effect in full effect. But I'm not about to spend my linear timeline to watch this. I'm giving it a touch brown. Rob, what say you?
Yeah, this actually Judy Greer, looking back from her horror/comedic roots and going the dramatic route here. I don't know. It seems kind of intriguing to me, especially with that scene with Cameron Manheim where they had her being all nice and bubbly, and then randomly her shirt changed colors and her personality changed as well, and so it was kind of like, okay, wait, what just happened?
Butterfly effect.
Yeah. So it was kind of intriguing to me. So I think that's going to be a blah for me.
Oh, okay. So 2 blahs out of that one. All right. Up next is Operation Napoleon. Icelandic lawyer Christian gets drawn into the vortex of an international conspiracy when she receives footage of an airplane wreck recently revealed by the melting of one of Iceland's largest glaciers Oh, I didn't know it was going to be in Iceland. The old German World War II plane. I seriously thought it was the Antarctic when I was watching the trailer because they just didn't.
That's
really
You just said
too.
Icelandic lawyer.
When I was watching the trailer.
Christian.
When I was watching the trailer, I had no idea. I thought it was.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and I also said one of Iceland's largest glaciers. Okay.
Yeah.
The old German World War II plane not only brings ruthless criminals onto the scene for some reason, but also CIA Director William Carr, who got done quarterbacking for the never mind, who has been secretly trying to remove the wreck for a long time. Kristen refuses to rest until the key has been discovered that will solve the riddle of Operation Napoleon. And that riddle is, what is this movie about? Nazi planes in Antarctica? And I'm wrong on that. It's actually Iceland. James Bond globe-hopping spy networks, mentions of Hitler, mentions of Napoleon, no mention of what's going on, really, or why so many people are trying to get this plane out of the ice. And what was with the way the trailer ended? Is this like a reboot of The Thing? I don't know what's going on. You know, she was in that like cave or something and heard like a spaceship or something going overhead. It was weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know what's going on, and I don't want to know for the sake of national security. So, Touch Brown. Tony, what say you?
Snow, Nazis, snow, Nazis, snow, Nazis, snow. Old pub lady from Ted Lasso. Snow, stupid title. This trailer was a Snoozosaurus Rex. You know where this stream ends? Yep, Brown Town down, baby. Touch Brown. Oh, I was bored with this thing.
Yeah, well, it was just.
It
was supposed to be exciting, but not really.
No.
Rob, what say you?
Well, at first it seemed intriguing because the one guy who plays William Carr I've seen him in a bunch of other things like The Rig,
like
and
Game of Thrones.
Well, no, and he's been doing some other things where like the mixed cast where there's like because this movie is English and I don't know what language they speak in Iceland, but
Icelandic.
Yeah, so but you could tell because they were speaking it and there were subtitles. So, you know, he does really good with, like, the mixed, like, casts like that. So I was expecting, like, more, but it was very confusing. Like, seemed like we've seen it before, kind of, like, and it seemed more like it'd be more of a series than a movie to me.
Yeah, or it should have been
Drake
Brown. In there from, what is that? What was that game? With the character, his name was Drake. Tom Holland just played him.
Nathan Drake.
Uncharted.
Yeah, it should have been an Uncharted movie. But I guess they couldn't get Tom Holland, so they just decided to call it
They couldn't
Operation
even
Napoleon.
get, what's his face? Wahlberg.
Yeah, or Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
So it's a
We don't have Mark. We have Johnny Wahlberg. Hey, I'm going to give you guys a knuckle sandwich.
A sandwich?
Yeah.
All right.
Sandwich.
And that was a Touch Brown, right?
Yes.
All right. Okay. What is next, Tony?
Oh, next one is Jules. I don't think that's how it's really pronounced. Just Jules. And Jules follows a Milton who lives a quiet life routine in a small western Pennsylvania town, but finds his day upended when a UFO and its extraterrestrial passenger crash lands in his backyard. Before long, Milton develops a close relationship with E.T. he calls Jules. Things become complicated when two neighbors discover Jules, and the government quickly closes in. What follows in a funny, wildly inventive ride, there are three neighbors find meaning and connection later in life, thanks to this unlikely stranger.
Stranger danger. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a heartwarming story starring Trevor, a.k.a. Ben Kingsley.
But we're going to have to leave it there because we got to take this hard break.
Oh, commercial break.
Yeah, so we will be back right after this with Tony's opinion of Jules. So don't go anywhere. We still got the 400-pound gorilla in the room this week, which we need to talk about as well. So don't go anywhere. More Pop Culture Kaboom Radio Show right after this. Welcome back to the Pop Culture Kaboom, our radio show. Everything you want, everything you need in pop culture entertainment. We are going over the movies that'll be coming out this week with Mr. Tony Sanfilippo of Filippo's Horrible Reviews. And we have covered 3 movies so far, technically. First, we had Pod Generation. All of us gave it touch browns. Aporia. Rob and Tony gave it a blah, and I gave it a touch brown. Operation Napoleon is another streak of brown. And we are doing Jules, which Tony just gave us the synopsis for. And did you want to repeat the synopsis, sir?
Yeah, I'll reread that.
Okay.
Okay, Jules. Jules follows Milton, who lives a quiet life of routine in a small western Pennsylvania town, but finds his day upended when a UFO and its extraterrestrial passenger crash land in his backyard. Before long, Milton develops a close relationship with the extraterrestrial he calls Jules. Things become overcomplicated when 2 neighbors discover Jules, and the government quickly closes in. What follows is a funny, wildly inventive ride as 3 neighbors find meaning and connection later in life, thanks to this unlikely stranger. Aww. The heartwarming story starring Trevor, a.k.a. Ben Kingsley. This movie is about an alien named Jules, who is blue and doesn't speak, so he's very Rain Man. He takes care of Bluey and the bond that loves him and the family he wants. Jules needs to be the new elf from Melmac. Wooey! Okay, well, this movie looks charming and will find an audience. I will not be one, so for me personally, it's a touch blue.
Okay, touch blue. All right.
I don't know what I was thinking when I wrote that, like my review.
He needs to join the Blue Man group since he doesn't talk.
Yeah, there you go. He's got a big old head just like him.
Yeah, he did. What a feel-good Hallmark movie of the week. I have never been a fan of the let's have a small select group of people represent the best of humanity, while everyone else having the knee-jerk reactionism of it's different, let's kill it. This is, I'm sure, a heartwarming kick you square in the E.T. feels kind of movie, but again, not my thing. Touch brown. Rob, what say you?
E.T. meets Cocoon. And it was actually, to me, it seemed actually very quirky, very funny. I like Jane Curtin. I like Ben Kingsley. The guy, when he was up there, like, talking to the council, reminded me totally of somebody, like, in our town would be exactly like that. So, like, it was like, wow, I can see this happening.
Which is why we don't go to these city council meetings.
But yeah, no, to me, it actually seems kind of funny. Like I said, it's probably something I'm not going to go out and, like, internally seek, so I'm going to give it a blah.
Oh, a blah. Okay. Feeling rather optimistic this week, aren't you, Rob? Kind of half and half with all the movies so far, which is not a bad record. So that gets us to the 400-pound gorilla in the room this week, which is The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Based on a single chilling chapter from Bram Stoker's classic novel Dracula, The Last Voyage of the Demeter tells the terrifying story of the merchant ship Demeter, which was chartered to carry private cargo, 50 unmarked wooden crates from Carpathia to London. Strange events befall the doomed crew as they attempt to survive the ocean voyage, stalked each night by a merciless menace presence on board the ship. When the Demeter finally arrives off the shores of England, it is charred, derelict wreck. There is no trace of the crew. And thanks to the synopsis, I don't need to watch the movie.
Yeah, I don't either.
That tells me everything right there.
The synopsis told me everything.
Not only that, the single chapter that the movie is based off of is Chapter 7 of Bram Stoker's Dracula, which, by the way, was written 126 years ago. So no spoilers. Obviously, it's not new, and I would encourage everyone to read the book as a whole instead of just watching a movie about the singular chapter, but I digress. Overall, the trailer makes the film look creepy, claustrophobic at times, and if it were any other movie about another monstrous spirit of evil, it would actually have some dramatic tension to it. But like the Titanic, I know how this is going to end, so I have no interest in rushing out to see it. So at best for me, it's going to be a blah.
Wow.
Tony, what say you? Well, it does look good. It just, I know how it's going to end, so why would I want, only if I'm kind of like, nothing else to watch kind of stuff. But anyway.
Yeah, that one, well, after the synopsis, man, that kind of makes it even lower for me. I'm like, all right, now look at it, it spoils. But I put Dracula goes on a cruise and everybody's in trouble. I like that it takes place on a ship in the middle of the ocean. It's old, demonic-looking bat, obviously the early part of Dracula, which is a cool, different take than what we're used to seeing. It's nice to see that it's back in the horror vein versus the comedic or Twilight versions. It definitely doesn't look bad, and I would not go rush to see it in theaters. But you know what? I would give it a shot on streaming. Now, I lowered this. I still would watch it on streaming, but it's just a lower blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah. All right. Rob, what say you?
Well, somebody who actually has read the book and enjoyed the book Dracula, the voyage, which is the chapter that this is taken from, is the shortest chapter in the entire Dracula novel, and it's told from the sea captain's logs. So there's actually not much that we actually see or hear about in the book. So it's actually great for me.
Well, in Nina's journal as well.
Yeah. But for me, it's very like, oh, good, we get to finally see what happens. I enjoy the whole Dracula thing. I know I'm one of those weirdos. I love the Winona Ryder one.
Yeah, that one was different. That was different.
I watch it occasionally to this day just because I enjoy it. But I enjoy the story of Dracula. I can't wait for this. I actually have tickets to go see it on Friday. So
Okay.
I'm hoping it's good. So I'm giving it a good for now.
All right. I expect a progress report next week. Next show. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah. No, I will.
All right. Yeah, see, oh, God, what was I going to say? That was always the, never mind, train derailed. Call FEMA.
I tell you, I did go see a couple movies.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Ooh,
I went and saw Talk to Me.
TMNT?
No.
Oh, yeah, you saw Talk to Me.
I saw Talk to Me.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
It was very good, actually excellent. My daughter, she's 18. And this was like her first like R-rated horror movie, her first possession movie, and yeah, I think I traumatized her. I kept having to she was shaken after the movie, and like I kept having to go, "Are you okay? Are you sure you're okay?" And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "I did have to close my eyes and look away at a few parts." So, but it was good. It had, I wouldn't call them necessarily jump scares, but jump what the just happened moments. Yeah, it very,
I'm glad you clapped that clean.
Yeah, it's typical A24, the kind of slow burn, but this one is better than the typical A24 because once it goes, and it's like whoa.
Okay, so it wasn't like a Malignant.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it, and the first thing my daughter said was, "When this comes out on streaming, we have to get it."
Wow.
So
Okay.
And yeah, and for someone, and like I said, she was a little traumatized after that.
Huh. Okay.
But yeah,
I'm still trying to think of what
we saw the Meg 2.
Oh yeah, in 3D, right?
Yes, in 3D.
Did you see that one, Tony?
No, I didn't see the Meg 2. I heard it was really cheesy, but I still want to see it.
Oh, it was great. It was. I actually think I enjoyed this one more than the original.
Ooh,
Yeah, like seriously.
And before you asked Tony, I did ask him if he was drinking.
Yeah, no,
said
it was great. My daughter enjoyed it too. Like we both went and saw it. It had its moments. It was perfect. It was great. It moved right along. There was not unnecessary story building. It was just boom, boom, boom. Let's go, killer shark. All right, let's go. More killer items. Yes.
So how was the CGI? Was it decent?
Yeah, it was very decent.
Okay.
The underwater scenes. Nobody can ever do underwater, right? But they
James Cameron can.
Yeah, but who can afford his rigs? But no, it had a lot of tense moments. And I was right. Remember I told you, I said he's going to have a bomb strapped to those harpoons. He did.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's so cheesy. But okay.
And they actually, so the preview, I'm just a little spoiler alert for you. Spoiler. The preview where they show Jason Statham where he has his foot up against the shark's mouth where it looks like he's stopping it with his foot.
Well, I know that's not how it's going to work.
No, the shark is held back by chains. There's chains holding the shark back.
Oh, see, I just imagined that, they just kind of cut it there with his foot on the face of the shark.
They CGI'd,
and the shark was pushing him
out.
up.
Yeah.
So
No, they CGI'd in the trailer. They CGI'd out the chains. So it looked like he was holding it back. Because I was like, oh, there's no way he can hold it back. It's like, okay, that makes way more sense now.
Yeah, or speaking of shows from our childhood, there's no way he Pink Panthered that, by doing that, Remember
but it was
Pink
good.
Panther?
It had great moments. There's like a scene where you actually get the shark's inside perspective of him eating the people. It was great.
Like there's a GoPro in his mouth or something?
Yeah, it's like chomping down.
Oh, God.
See, where I talked you guys out of TMNT and Barbie, you make me want to see the because it's ridiculousness.
It is. It's if you like your sci-fi shark movies. Like I said, I think I enjoyed this one more than the first one.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, and that's good because the first one was actually
good.
It was ridiculous, but it was enjoyable.
Yeah, it was good. It was a great popcorn summer blockbuster, and that's exactly how I felt after this. Was like that was a good summer blockbuster movie.
All right, so here is the breakdown for you. The 400-pound gorilla in the room this week, The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Rob gave it a good. Tony and I gave it a blaz. Jules, the sci-fi alien ET one. Rob gave it a blah. Tony and I gave it a touch brown. Operation Napoleon, a brown streak, all the way for all three of us as touch browns. Aporia, Rob and Tony gave it blahs. I gave it a touch brown. See a trend here.
Right.
Pod Generation, just another brown streak. Everybody gave it touch browns. And those are the movies for this week. Watch at your own peril. Next week, being released between August 14th and August 20th is Blue Beetle, DC's last movie before James Gunn takes over. The Moon, Dark Windows, Landscape with Invisible Hands.
Okay. That sounds like it could be like
and Birth/Rebirth. So those are the...
That sounds sci-fi.
Yeah, I think it's horror, actually. But I got to look into that. Well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
I'm excited about Blue Beetle.
So, I don't know. It could be interesting.
Are you guys going to go see Blue Beetle? Or are you guys doing somebody wins and goes and watches it with you guys?
No, we're not giving away tickets We're not giving away tickets this time around. I don't know, because next weekend is going to be an interesting one, because next weekend is also 3 days of ArieCon. Mm-hmm. So that'd mean that I'd be tied up Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and not give me much time for show prep, which I desperately need. So, but I don't know. We might. I don't know the situation yet. Plus, Spencer's probably busy with his ArieCon 3, so because it is the week leading up to it. So I don't know. It's all up in the air right now.
I know my daughter wants to go see it, so
Rob might see it and give us a progress report.
I want to see it too. It actually looks.
Well, that's
enjoyable.
why I said Rob might see it.
It looks enjoyable. I like the obscure DC characters. You know.
What are your thoughts on it? Just knee jerk reaction, Tony.
Gosh, I don't know anything about Blue Beetle. What I get off there is the font looks like Purple Rain. So I think of that when I see the title. And the second thing is just is this a mix of Iron Man meets Ant-Man meets Spider-Man? And then it's hard for me to not see the kid from Cobra Kai. So that's all I see right now. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I just, meh.
Okay.
Because Jamie Anna asked me, she goes, "Oh, babe, are you excited to go see that?" And I go, "I don't know anything about it." And it kind of just looks like, DC lets me down, man.
I know.
I got all hyped up for the Flash, baby, and that thing.
Well, yeah, you were hyped up for the
Flash.
You hyped yourself up for the Flash. Yeah, just because.
But I got excited, man. They baited me with Michael Keaton.
They baited everybody with Michael Keaton.
I would be more hyped up if it was.
With a side of Michael Keaton.
All right. Well, sir, with that being said, I do appreciate you being on with us, and we will talk to you about these movies next week. Oh, and by the way, next week is also Damon Hillen will be on with us to talk about 3 Days in Malay, which also comes out this week on August 11th. But it is a historical World War II South Pacific War movie, which is why it's not included in the films
heavy.
Selected. Oof. Yes, it is. But it'll be an interesting topic because what I've seen of it so far, I would kind of put it on the same classic level as PT Boat 109 or any of the what was that other South Pacific one? Not the bridge over the River Kwai, but kind of in that same category.
Okay.
So just to keep everybody interested.
You have to send me the movie title again.
I will. I'll actually send you a link to the trailer and Spencer as well, so that we all have our info when he's on the air with us. So, all right, sir. Again, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, guys. Have a great rest of your show. We'll be listening, and talk to you next week.
All right. Oh, we got some music on you might be interested in. The band Armagelion. You don't even want to know how long it took me to try and pronounce that. Armagelion. And we'll be playing, we'll be debuting. It's actually the KNVC debut of their song, Sweet Pain.
Ooh.
So I think you might like it.
Okay, we'll be listening.
All right. And with that being said, how close are we? Close enough. We'll be right.
Later.
Yeah, we gotta call it quits here, but we will be back, so don't go anywhere. More Pop Culture Boom Radio Show right after this with our big interview with the Divine Beast, Lord Armagelion himself. This is the Pop Culture Boom Radio Show. Behind the big board, Rob Nault, and I am your not so humble host, Jimmy Jones. And on special assignment investigating an alien spacecraft is Spencer Stoner. No, I'm just kidding. He's out sick this week. But we will be rocking out this evening because our special guest this evening is the Divine Beast himself, Lord Armagelion, from the shock rock band Armagelion. And how are you, sir?
Hello there. Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. So you've been getting a lot of press lately. You were just in Toxic Metal Zine. Congratulations on that. And you just released, actually, this last Friday, your latest single, Sweet Pain. But there's not much information I could really find about the band, Armagelion. And so how did Armagelion get started?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Yes, my latest single, Sweet Pain, just released this Friday, and I'm very happy and very excited because it's a very special song. The band has been around like 2 years now. I wanted to create something different. When I was a little kid, I grew up listening to all those great hard rock bands from the 80s, Def Leppard, Bon Jovi, Motley Crue, Kiss, of course. But also, I wanted to combine theatrics and science fiction. When I was a little kid, I was a huge fan of comic books, fantasy, sci-fi, horror movies. So Armagelion is pretty much the combination of everything I love.
And so the band got started about 2 years ago. Do you have any upcoming shows that somebody can go and check out?
Well, there are plans to go on tour next year, probably Texas and California.
How about Nevada and like Reno?
I would love to. I would love to, definitely. Last year, in November, we were touring in California, Los Angeles, and it was great. I got a chance to meet a lot of fans there, and it was great.
So how'd you come up with the Divine Beast? And he shall sing the song that will destroy it all.
Like I said before, Armagelion is pretty much the combination of everything that I love. Sci-fi, horror, comic books. So I wanted to create a character I never saw before. I wanted to create my own character. Of course, I'm a huge fan of a lot of characters, but I wanted to be me. So I wanted to create something dramatic, something powerful. So that's where Armagelion came from, the Divine Beast, and he shall sing the song that will destroy it all.
But what is the antithesis of this? Where did the what is the motivation of the character to be, out there in front singing a song that will destroy everything? I mean, as a musician myself, I'm always looking for the brown note
Yeah.
If you're not a musician, you have no idea. I'll explain the brown note.
Thank you.
Later. You don't need to know what that is at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry.
Armagelion was created as an almighty entity, and I want to reflect that power on stage, and he felt like a no man, It's my intro, and Armagelion is there when you hear that word.
All right. And you have your latest single that just came out on Friday, which is available just about everywhere. Actually, if you want to go and check it out, you can go to Linktree/Armagelion. It has all other links to Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Bandcamp, TikTok. All of the social links are there, as well as the Spotify and the Bandcamp, so you can go and check out all of Armagelion's music. But Sweet Pain, what motivated you to write that song?
Sweet Pain is a very special song because it's something we all can relate to. A love that kills you inside, but you make it sweet and you embrace it. It's a very special, dramatic, and powerful song because, like I said before, I think we all have been there. It's something we all have been through, and I think it's something we all can relate to. When love kills you inside and you embrace that thing.
Okay. Well, we're going to make its KNVC debut right now. So here is Armagelion with Sweet Pain. Enjoy. And we'll be talking more about the song after it's done playing, so don't go anywhere. Give it a listen and enjoy. Sweet Pain by Armagelion. Oh, that's not it. Wrong button.
It's hard to realize the way you kill me every day. How much I need your point.
And that is Armagelion with Sweet Pain, the latest single that was just released. You can find this on Spotify, Bandcamp, or wherever you get your music from. And we are on the phone right now with Lord Armagelion. And I noticed that on the Facebook page, the term Children of Armagelion has been used a couple of times. What is that in relation to? Is that the fans or the other members of the band?
Yeah, the fan base is called Children of Armagelion. The members of the band are called the Acolytes of Armagelion.
Okay. And is it a core group? Are these people that you hand selected to do the instrumentation, or are they actual collaborators with the music?
Oh, of course, they collaborate with everything. We're a team, we're a family, and we're in this together.
And I noticed when I got out of Sweet Pain, as far as influences-wise, one band that wasn't mentioned...
Guns N' Roses?
No, Skid Row, actually. I hear a lot of a kind of a Sebastian Bach kind of a singing style. Is that kind of, at least with this song, intentional?
Well, not for this song, but yeah, I always take inspiration from every band that I love, and of course I love Skid Row and Sebastian Bach. Great, it's one of the greatest singers of all time.
True, and a lot of Bruce Dickinson too. I hear some Iron Maiden Bruce Dickinson in there as well.
Yeah, it could be. For me, Bruce Dickinson, Sebastian Bach, Paul Stanley, those guys for me are some of the greatest hard rock singers of all time, for sure.
Well, I'm glad you didn't say Gene Simmons. Anyway, I'm just...
Gene Simmons is great, but Paul Stanley is the singer, in my opinion.
Well, it's an inside joke with the radio show.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Anyway, well, I had him on one time. I did an interview with him, and it just did not go as well as I expected, or I thought it would.
Okay.
So that's why it's kind of an inside joke on that one. But anyway, so got some tour possibly coming up. If anybody would like to go ahead and, like I said, Armagelion do have their own site. It is at Linktree, which is linktr.ee/Armagelion. It is as actually hard to spell as it is to pronounce, and at least to me. So with that being said, I do follow them on the Facebook, so when they post, I do repost. So you should be able to find it in the Pop Culture Boom newsfeed. And from there, you can go and follow them to their page, give their page a like or a follow, and also click on the link for their site, which will take you to everything you need to know about Armagelion. And anything you want to add in closing, sir?
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, Armagelion is everywhere. You can find Armagelion on every social media site, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, of course, YouTube. The Sweet Pain official lyric video, it's also available on YouTube. So go check it out and hope you like it. Also, you can get all Armagelion music on every platform, Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, whatever you get your music from. You will find Armagelion there.
So,
Nice.
So with the creation of this sci-fi character, do you see it a comic book or a graphic novel? Because I know a lot of bands have been doing the graphic novels lately. Like Iron Maiden had a graphic novel. Anthrax had a graphic novel come out. Recently, we had 6x6, a band with Robert Barry. They had a graphic novel out that actually was a companion to their debut album. Do you see a graphic novel in Armagelion's future?
Of course. I would love to, like I said before, I'm a huge comic book fan. I grew up reading comic books, watching sci-fi and horror movies. So, yeah, that would be a dream come true. And, of course, I see an Armagelion comic book coming out very soon, hopefully.
All right. Well, if you're interested in collaborating with them on anything, I'm sure there's a means for them to get in contact with you.
Sure. I'm always open.
Okay, and you can just get them all and just DM you through the Facebook page, or is there an email that someone can get a hold of you at?
You can DM on Facebook or Instagram. I will always reply there.
Okay. He's never too big to talk to his fans. That's a great thing. All right, sir. It was an honor and a privilege having you on. I wish you the best of luck in your venture. And don't forget to try and book a show date in Reno, Nevada.
Of course. I will love to. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was my pleasure. And speaking of that, yeah, I always try to be in touch with the fans because, at the end of the day, I'm here because of the fans. So it's very important to always be in touch with them.
Great. Perfect, sir. Thank you very much. And we are at a hard break. So thank you again, sir. And like I said, we do follow Armagelion on the Facebook. When they post, it does go into Pop Culture Boom news feed. And you can also go and check out their site, linktree/Armagelion. And we'll be back with more Pop Culture Boom radio show. We're, got a little bit of showtime left, so don't go anywhere. And welcome back to the Pop Culture Kaboom radio show. Everything you want, everything you need in pop culture entertainment. And here's a good one for you, Rob. It's been just over a month since the One Ring Magic the Gathering card popped up on the PSA grading website.
Post Malone.
And thanks for spoiling it. And the $2 million valued pick has now been sold to rapper Post Malone. The lucky finder, now named as Brooke Trafton, posted a video to TikTok showing the card handover though the actual paid amount by Post Malone is still unknown.
Okay, I was going to ask because I didn't see anything about the price either.
With some commenters speculating on a $2.6 million figure. The One Ring's whereabouts have been kept hidden for much of this ordeal from its original pull in early June to today's final sale. That's understandable. This is the most valuable card in all of the MTG history and the highest sale yet. Posting the sale video, the Canadian fan explained, "This is my dream come true, meeting Post Malone, and him buying the One Ring card from me is literally a moment straight out of a fairy tale." Too bad his face looks like the desk in detention. But anyway, I don't know why people would put tattoos on their face. I really don't get it. Anyway.
I'm not a fan of that either.
Me neither. It just doesn't make
I like
sense.
tattoos, but just on the face.
Yeah, Post Malone has been big in the Magic the Gathering scene for some time now, regularly appearing at community events and being the proud holder of an $800,000 signed artist print Black Lotus. The sale of that card was previously the highest on record before this week's The One Ring sale, of course. Mm-hmm. So, but and they have a whole bunch of other cross IP promotions coming out for Magic the Gathering. They have a Jurassic World one coming out, which will be very interesting. So no telling.
Lots of mana.
Yeah, no telling how that one's going to actually play out. But all right. A new Dark type Terra Charizard EX, distinct from the one released in Scarlet and Violet, Obsidian Flames. They're talking Pokemon.
Yeah,
now.
I was going to say, I'm like, wait, what?
Will release on October 20th from the Pokemon trading card game. The Charizard EX Premium Collection features 6 booster packs in etched foil Terra Charizard EX SV Black Star promo. When you got that many things going on with a single card, then it's time to stop. Yeah, but that's my opinion.
The card has to be extra big just so you can print all that.
Yeah, no doubt, huh? The team didn't give any grand details about what the TTRPG would be about or look like. All we do know is at this point is that the company is looking to publish the game sometime in 2024. Okay. Renegade Game Studios announced during Gen Con 2023 that they are currently working on a tabletop role-playing game for Welcome to Night Vale. In case you weren't already aware of what this is, Welcome to Night Vale is currently the most popular fiction podcast in the world, with hundreds of episodes currently available online for free for you to listen to. The show was created in 2012 by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Cranor, who created a public radio news-like show featuring the voice of Cecil Baldwin. Is that one of the Baldwin brothers?
I don't know.
Okay. Who takes on the role of Cecil Gershwich Palmer, talking about the events happening in their desert town. Are they from Nebrino? That seems to be in its own unexplained plane of existence, where almost everything that can happen will happen with terrifying results. So I guess it's going to be a game now, a tabletop game. Interesting.
I never heard of the podcast, so.
Me neither. So, okay. Well, that's what happens when you have hundreds
of podcasts
of free episodes. Paizo announced that they are currently working on Starfinder 2nd Edition with play tests coming in 2024. As part of the company keynote presentation for Gen Con 2023, they reveal their plans for the next phase of their sci-fi tabletop role-playing game, as the new edition will be published under the ORC license, O-R-C. I don't know what that means, other than, big green guys.
I know, I'm thinking Lord of the Rings.
I'm thinking a World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay.
Orcs. But anyway, a license and will contain implements of the 3-action economy. This is designed to make it more accessible for fans and creators, as well as make it fully compatible with Pathfinder 2nd Edition and the Remaster project. The Starfinder playtest rulebook will be available in December 2024 as a softcover rulebook, as Starfinder 2nd Edition will be using the Pathfinder 2nd Edition rule set. Base system rules will not be part of the playtest. Rather, the playtest will focus on the core elements of gameplay, including new classes, a scaling equipment system, new skills, and more. This is the most open playtest Paizo has ever launched, with deeper looks into the development process. I sprung a leak. In a move to shore up its fall 2023 primetime lineup, as the SAG-AFTRA and WGA strike roll on, CBS announced last month that Paramount Network's Kevin Costner starring Yellowstone will be getting re-aired on Sunday nights, beginning with the first season. In addition, we learned that Ghosts fans will be able to enjoy back-to-back episodes of the original UK show on Thursday nights, beginning later in the season. Taylor Sheridan's series will make its broadcast debut on Sunday, September 17th at 8:30 p.m., following the NFL on CBS football doubleheader and 60 Minutes. In addition, encore episodes of CBS's Ghosts at 8:30 p.m. will be followed by 2 episodes of the UK version starting at 8 p.m. beginning on Thursday, November 16th. So that's how they're getting around the whole strike, by coming up with other programming or programming from Britain.
Right.
So I wonder what other shows are going to... Because The Office originally started off as a UK show, so I wonder if they're going to bring the UK version of The Office
in. That would be NBC. Because they had the Alpha, NBC had the American version. So
yeah, but still, NBC is going to need content. So
well, I'm just surprised that they're not pulling their actual streaming content on. I mean, with a little editing, they could definitely put a lot of their streaming content onto.
That's true,
and bring more, and not even just the first seasons if they have second seasons and drop more people in. There's a bunch of shows, especially on Paramount, that I watch.
Really?
And a lot of them are by Taylor Sheridan too.
What a coinky dink!
I don't know. I don't know if he's the writer or he's just the producer, but I don't know. He's producing whatever he's doing. I like his shows.
He does a lot of stuff. All right, so remember when we talked about Blade Runner 2099?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the last time we checked in to see how things were going, it was the end of May. And reports at that time were that Amazon's upcoming Prime Video live-action limited series Blade Runner 2099 may see its production at North Ireland's Belfast Harbour Studios delayed until spring of 2024 due to the WGA-AMPTP writer's strike. Northern Ireland Screen noted And I quote, Northern Ireland screen confirmed Blade Runner 2099 has been delayed. Northern Ireland screen is extremely disappointed that Blade Runner 2099 is not going ahead at this time due to the ongoing writer's strike. The project has been prepping on the ground in Belfast for many months now. Many months. The WGA strike has been halting production all over the world, and we hope a fair deal is reached soon. So the crew, they put it in these weird brackets, the crew, can get back to work. Since that time, matters have only gotten worse, as now SAG-AFTRA also went on strike against the AMPTP, with both the unions seeking fair and respective new agreements. But according to a production list update that found its way in front of our faces, it appears that some filming may be going on beginning October 2nd of 2023, with Northern Ireland listed as the location. A little contradiction there.
Well, I know, like, there's certain things with the European unions that even though, like the SAG-AFTRAs are on strike, like, if it's actually, like, a European production, it's, like, still can go on, like, because they have different
with waivers
rules.
Or some...
Well, it's different union rules and stuff because they have their own union over there, and to participate in those movies, you got to be part of that union. So that's why there's still movies filming right now over in Europe with American actors because they're part of that other union that says even though you're striking there, we're not striking, so you still got to come and do your production.
Oh, well, actually, it kind of gets into that. If I only read a little further.
Oh, sorry.
No, not your fault. It's mine. Well, it might seem surprising considering the SAG-AFTRA and WGA strikes. It's quite possible, and they put in quotes here, or parentheses, much like what FX Networks and Noah Hawley are doing with their Alien series, that filming involving international actors who aren't SAF...
SAG-AFTRA.
Yeah, they put F instead of G. SAG-AFTRA affiliated could be in play. In addition, there could also be location environment filming that could take place. And let's not rule out the possibility that the production notice wasn't pulled, though the last update is registered to have taken place on July 31st. So very confusing all the way around. Yeah, if maybe they are doing like... location filming, like sweeping landscape shots or whatever. And what are we talking about here again?
What?
Exactly. Oh, Blade Runner 2099. I can't imagine what the Blade Runner period is a kind of a dystopian Los Angeles overgrown cityscape in the first place. So I can't imagine what kind of filming you could do in Belfast, Ireland that would even come close to that. So it kind of makes me wonder what direction they're going to be going in with this series and how it became a series in the first place and not another movie. But anyway.
Yeah, interesting.
So the Walking Dead universe will walk on, despite Hollywood's first double strike since 1960s. The WGA have been on strike since May after failing to reach the agreement. Blah 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 blah. Everybody likes to repeat themselves. Blah 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 blah. I get paid word for minute. Blah 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 blah. Joined writers on the picket lines, efficiently shutting down Hollywood's TV and film industry. Blah 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 blah. As the writers and actors unions seek fair pay from the studios, AMC Network CEO Kristen Dolan says the work stoppage won't begin to impact AMC programming until well into 2024. AMC debuted Maggie and the Negan spin-off The Walking Dead Dead City in June and will premiere The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon this September alongside the new season of Ride with Norman Reedus. That's kind of like a reality show where he just rides around on a motorcycle.
Visits towns and stuff.
Oh, yay. I never saw it.
I haven't either.
Never had a reason to see it. The remaining 6 episodes of Fear the Walking Dead's 8th and final season will begin airing October 22nd. AMC has also completed production on The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, the Rick Grimes, and Michonne spinoff slated to premiere in 2024. AMC announced second season renewals for Dead City, or like we're talking about,
Right.
part 2 of season 1, and Daryl Dixon at San Diego Comic-Con in July, but development will remain paused until after the WGA and SAG strikes are resolved.
I'm just worried that a lot of things like afterwards is going to happen, like what's going to happen when it actually does get resolved, because all these studios are now going to try to compete for their contracts back with these actors.
They could. It depends on if the contracts got
but do you know what I mean?
canceled.
Like they're going to be like whole different production, like the production schedules, you know, like a lot of actors take their work depending on, okay, I can do this one, I can do this one because of the production schedules, you know, now how that's all going to play out too.
That is true. And plus, you know, because a lot of the, you know, you hear productions, we tried to get blah, blah to return, but their schedule.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying.
Was a kind of a
I have a
messed
feeling
up.
this is going to be one of those messed up schedules, especially maybe for TV series that have
Like big name actors and actresses.
attached to them.
Like who? No one out of Walking Dead though that I know of is in any kind of big productions lately. I mean, even,
Jeffrey Dean Morgan, maybe, but
he was playing side characters.
that's what I mean.
I saw him
think
was
he's
Rampage.
in the I think he came to The Boys season 4. But,
Oh yeah, but that's another show.
yeah,
And so-
exactly.
And I think that's done. And that's wrapped filming too, because
I
I think
believe
they're
so.
ready to put that out, along with what was that? Something or other, Generation V. Which is a spin-off of The Boys.
the college one where they're all at college.
Yeah,
with,
the
Arnold
special
Schwarzenegger's
school.
son, I think, is in that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know he was acting, quite honestly. So here is what is worth watching on television the week of Sunday, August 6th at 9 p.m. That's tonight through Sunday, August 13th at 5 p.m. According to TV Guide, I only include what I would watch, which means that it has to be considered new to either a network in terms of a movie or original programming. And it also must fall into the categories of action, adventure, science fiction, horror, anime, and or fantasy. Sometimes a little reality show slide in there. If it is something I think is worth watching, like about aliens or the supernatural or just some good science stuff or robots destroying each other, because that's always fun. Bear in mind, I do not include streaming services since you can generally binge watch the season in a day. If you have a suggestion for a show that I should add, send me an email at popculturekaboom@gmail.com. Put suggested show in the subject line and include the name of the show, what channel it airs on, the time and day it airs, and I will add it if it fits the aforementioned requirements. Tonight at 9 p.m. on Fox is Housebroken. At 9:30 p.m. on Fox is Housebroken, and that is it. Monday, August 7th at 5 p.m. on Nickelodeon is SpongeBob SquarePants. At 8 p.m. on Disney XD is Marvel's Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. On USA is Monday Night Raw. And that being said, it is time to take a hard break. So don't go anywhere. More Pop Culture Kaboom Radio Show right after this. And welcome back to the Pop Culture Kaboom Radio Show. We're going to pick up where we left off with what's going on television this week. We left off with Monday, August 7th at 5 p.m. on Nickelodeon is SpongeBob SquarePants. At 8 p.m. on Disney XD is Marvel's Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. On USA is Monday Night Raw. Tuesday, August 8th at 12 midnight. So basically Monday night. On TBS is BR Gaming, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that. It's basically like they're just show esports type stuff programming. At 5 p.m. on then you can go to sleep and wake up at 5 p.m. on Nickelodeon is SpongeBob SquarePants. At 8 p.m. on USA is WWE Next. At 10 p.m. on NBC is Hot Wheels Ultimate Challenge. Usually I don't put stuff like that in there, but it is Hot Wheels, and they are converting regular cars into actual full-scale Hot Wheels vehicles, which would be funny if they did the Rat Rod, from like Rat Fink and all of those guys. That would be actually really cool. But anyway, and then you can go to sleep. Wednesday, August 9th at 5 p.m. on Nickelodeon is
SpongeBob
SquarePants. And at 8 p.m. on the CW is Nancy Drew, and it is the season finale. On TBS is All Elite Wrestling Dynamite. At 9 p.m. on the CW is Riverdale, and I think it's their final season.
It is their final season.
So, and I think they're close
That
to
is a trippy show.
being over with as well. Then at Thursday, August 18th, technically Wednesday night, at 12 a.m. midnight on Cartoon Network is Teenage Euthanasia. It sounds like a band. At 12:30 a.m. on the Cartoon Channel is 10-Year-Old Tom. And then you can go to sleep. At 5 p.m. on Nickelodeon is
SpongeBob
SquarePants. At 8 p.m. I came up with my own version of a SpongeBob SquarePants song. I don't think it's era appropriate. I have to sing it to figure it out. At 8 p.m. on FX is What We Do in the Shadows. And then basically Thursday night, Friday at August 11th at 12 midnight on the Cartoon Network is My Adventures with Superman. And then you can go to sleep until 8 p.m. So then you can go into a coma until 8 p.m. at night on Fox's WWE Friday Night SmackDown. On Disney, The Villains of Valley View. On Stars is Outlander. 10 p.m. on Freeform is Praise Petey. On TNT is All Elite Wrestling Rampage. On Stars is Heels. That was a suggestion. It's a wrestling
Jensen
show.
Ackles. Yep.
He did not have nice things to say about the strike.
No, actually, it was taken out of context.
Of course it was.
You got to read his whole statement. Yeah.
Of course
I'm a follower of his, so I know what's going on.
So you were a big fan of the Arrowverse?
Oh, yes.
Me too.
Super fan of the Arrowverse.
Super fan?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I wasn't a super fan.
Oh, yeah.
But I watched it
I got my dad
religiously.
actually hooked on it, so it's, yeah. He's not a big, show, of those type of shows, but...
Didn't he, do the American Ninja competition once, too?
I don't know. But he's actually appeared on Next.
The WWE. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he did.
No, not Next, but AEW.
AEW. Okay. Yeah. You should look it up. I think he did the Ninja Warrior competition, and he just dominated it.
So I have 3 shows.
3 shows?
Yes, that you should add. But you won't because they're on streaming, but they release weekly.
Whoa. Okay. Dang. Okay. Well, if it's not something that has to be bench, email them to me so I can start. Because I just go off the TV Guide. TV Guide doesn't list them either.
I know. That's why.
So most of them anyway. But yeah, email them to me. I'll add them. Saturday, August 12th. I think I left off with 10 p.m. on Friday, August 11th. At 10:30 p.m. On Freeform is another episode of Praise Petey. Saturday, August 12th at 7:30 p.m. on Disney is Summer Shortacular with Big City Greens. At 8 p.m. on ABC is Ms. Marvel, the Disney Plus series. They're going to be finishing it off, so it's going to be on ABC from 8 p.m. until 11 p.m., technically off the air by midnight. On TNT is All Elite Wrestling Collision. And at 9 p.m. check your local listings for Creature Features in Carson City and Reno. It's on channels 191 and 193, respectively, if you have Charter. And Sunday, August 13th, before the Pop Culture Kaboom radio show, nothing. So that is what is worth watching on television. And let me get to, how about some games? Here's a selection from the card, tabletop, and video games that are coming out the week of August 7th. I was able to find, and we'll read you the release information for each with a little colorful commentary, of course. If you are a game maker, small, medium, or even a large one, and have something coming out that you would like me to add to my list, contact me at popculturekaboom@gmail.com. Please put upcoming game in the subject line and in the body of the email, the company publishing the game, the name of the game with the press release information, very important. What type of game it is, very important. And if it is a video game, also include if it is going to be multi-platform or a digital release, and the date it will be released, or at least if it's going to be released within that week. First up is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game Duelist Nexus Booster. Duelist Nexus is a booster pack in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Official card game and Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. It is the first set in the OCG's 12th series following Cyberstorm Axis and followed by Age of Overlord. Age of Overlord. Speaking of wrestling, WrestleQuest is a multi-platform game Pro wrestling and RPG fantasy collide in the ultimate pixel-powered adventure. Macho Man Randy Savage and tons of other icons offer guidance as you powerbomb your way to glory beyond the ring.
Oh man, that's his guidance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Every time you do something good.
Oh yeah. Whenever there's going to be a Slim Jim commercial in there. Step into a Slim Jim. This hero's journey ain't just an epic quest. It's WrestleQuest. But anyway, so that's kind of weird, actually. I wonder how they got the rights to do that. I mean, I'm surprised it's not like a WWE thing.
Right.
All right.
Probably licensed.
It better be if they got Randy Macho Man Savage. Oh yeah! Legend Bowl, which is also a multi-platform. Legend Bowl brings you back to the glory days of pixel-style football games of the past. Enjoy a hybrid of arcade-style football and simulation aspects on and off the field. Why would you care about what goes on off the field? It's
You're
football.
weird like that.
I'm not. I don't care what happens off the field.
Well, maybe you can now control, like, do they go to an after party?
Does he get a DUI?
Right? I don't know. Like,
did he get the cheerleader pregnant? What? Oh, fully customized players and teams to create an endless amount of variety in your league. Sim-based controls with challenging gameplay mechanics bring the fight to your doorstep. I thought it was a football game. Legend Bowl includes exhibition mode, tournament mode, season mode, training camp mode. What a waste of time that is. And a boatload of customization options. Okay. That's all I got to say about that is okay. Stray Gods, the role-playing musical.
I'm sorry, Stray Gods?
The role-playing musical.
Okay.
It is a multi-platform release. Gods, romance, murder, musical numbers. Play as Grace in a world where Greek gods live in hiding among us. Change your fate as you draw friends, foes, and lovers into song using your powers of musical persuasion to unravel the mystery of the latest muse's death.
Is this a
game.
Tabletop?
No, it's a multi-platform video game.
Imagine this as a tabletop. You have to spontaneously sing. That'd be great.
Oh yeah, that's a party game right there. That's a drinking party game.
That'd
actually,
be fun.
It actually would. Good idea. You better get down right. Rob gets 10% if anybody heard that, and they're going to do that. Stray. Multi-platform release.
Finally. Yes, I'm excited.
Lost, alone, and separated from family. See, this is the game that I thought they were basing that movie off of.
Oh.
Called Stray.
Yeah, Strays.
Oh, yeah.
That
Put an
one's
S on
Strays.
there. Make it plural, and that changes nothing.
Yes, it is. It changes everything.
No. A stray cat must untangle an ancient mystery to escape a long-forgotten city. Stray is a third-person cat adventure game set amidst the detailed neon-lit alleys of a decaying cyber city and the murky environments of its seedy underbelly. Roam surroundings, high and low, defend against unforeseen threats, and solve the mysteries of this unwelcoming place inhabited by curious droids and dangerous creatures. See the world through the eyes of a cat and interact with the environment in playful ways. Be stealthy, nimble, silly, and sometimes as annoying as possible with the strange inhabitants of this mystery world. Along the way, the cat befriends a small flying drone known only as B12 vitamins. With the help, it's called B12. Mm-hmm. I just put in vitamins. With the help of his newfound companion, the duo must find a way out. There's no way I know way out. Who sings that? Tesla. Didn't know I knew that, did you? Didn't know you cared.
I'm actually
really
can't wait
don't.
for that game. So
right,
I was
okay.
disappointed it wasn't on my platform when it came out.
Okay. I'll answer off air. There are a lot of movies and TV shows in various stages of development that come from the mind of R.L. Stine. And now we have confirmation that the movie based on his book Zombie Town has secured a PG-13 rating. The film earned the rating for some language and bloody images. It better be having bloody images for a zombie film. So while live-action adaptations of his Goosebumps books have been a bit more tame, it looks like Zombie will really be honoring the decaying corpses from its title. The film getting a rating also confirms that the film has been completed, though there's no official release date, which is kind of odd, or platform that has been revealed.
Could be waiting for distributor.
It could be. The novel is described, this used to be such a nice, quiet town, but that was before all the zombies. When 12-year-old Mike and his friend Karen go to see a horror movie called Zombie Town, the last thing they expected is the title characters to come down off the screen and chase them through the theater. It's not popcorn these hungry creatures want to chomp on, it's human brains. Now Mike and Karen frantically try to flee through the panicked streets of their hometown before shuffling bands of zombies turn every last citizen into a ravenous flesh eater. But if Mike thinks he'll be safe once he reaches his home and warns his mom and dad, he'd better think again. When the zombies say, "It's lunchtime, no home is safe." Zombie Town is R.L. Stein's delightfully spooky take on the horror genre that's infecting the world. Bite, bite, bite. Okay.
That was punny.
Punny or funny?
Both.
Whack, 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 whack. Get ready as some new horror is coming from Mezco Toys. Unveils their newest Mezco Designer Series doll. A new mega-scale killer is on the way, haha, no pun intended, as the modern slasher film Terrifier is getting a brand new collection. The clown doll comes in at 15 inches tall and will feature 11 points of articulation, as well as sound, which is kind of weird because he didn't make a damn sound in the movie. He was mute. He was like a mime, not a clown. But anyway.
Really? Okay.
Yes. You never saw Terrifier?
I didn't see it, no.
Oh, you got to watch it. You gotta watch it. I should have you over.
I know about Art the Clown, and I wanted to see Terrifier 2, but I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, you gotta watch them in order, but yeah, I think you'll dig it. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. No matter where you're listening, we genuinely appreciate you being here. We hope you enjoyed the Pop Culture Kaboom Radio Show. A big thank you to our guests Lloyd and Natosha Jones, the owners and creative team of Midnight Comics. There is plenty of time for you to be a part of the double feature Kickstarter, where you can get 2 #1 issues and a whole lot of other cool stuff. Speaking of, check out Midnight Comics website, midnightcomics.org, for all of the latest titles from Midnight Comics, the current Kickstarter, and all of their social media links. Also, a big thank you to the Divine Beast, Lord Armagelion. You can check out all things for the band Armagelion through their Linktree page, www.linktr.ee/Armagelion, including social media links and links to the Armagelion YouTube channel and music links. Next week, Sunday, August 13th, our guest will be award-winning fantasy author of the Raven and the Crow series, Michael C. Falciani. We'll be talking with Michael C. Falciani about the upcoming 3rd book of the Raven and the Crow series and other related novels that take place in the Raven and the Crow universe. He has a steampunk novel, actually, that's in the same universe. We'll also be welcoming back to the Pop Culture Kaboom Radio Show the president of Bellaton Films and CEO of Hillen Entertainment, Damian Hillen. Damian Hillen will be talking to us about his latest major film production, 3 Days in Malay, in theaters this Friday, August 11th. Also, check out the Pop Culture Kaboom on Facebook for everything you want, everything you need from Pop Culture Entertainment Daily, and subscribe to the Pop Culture Kaboom YouTube channel for video interviews from events we have and will be attending. On behalf of our guests Lloyd and Natosha Jones of Midnight Comics, I almost said Concrete Comics, Midnight Comics, the Divine Beast, Lord Armagelion, Tony Sanfilippo, Filippo's Horrible Reviews, Spencer, Rob, and I. Thank you for your continued support. Have a great week. We will talk with you again right here live next Sunday, 6 to 9 p.m. Until then, be safe, stay healthy, and peace out, Wabbits.